This is Jordan Grace, and you're listening to the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
BWB, this is One Nation Radio. You better get it right. Rich Latta, James Boyd came to give them life. The Blackest Wrestling Podcast has come to kick all ass and drop it 6 feet if they kicking trash. Word, let me welcome y'all to something different. And if you dig it, man, you should let some friends listen. We be getting it in, this on the regular, dude. Ravish and flow, but this shit rude. See, James don't rap, so I had to break it down. The whole network, man, we coming for the crown. Raps in the columns, I keep them both covered. Making the beats too, so the listeners can bump it. Hit us with the rating, yeah, I'm saying it's a 5. Before you hit it, talk, bob your head side to side. It's One Nation Radio, and this is the beginning. It's Rich, and I'm here with James. It's time to listen to One Nation.
We got to unleash the power of the pyramid.
This is Mike Sempervive from WrestlingObserver.com. Check me out on Wrestling Observer Live every day. And also check out your boys, Rich and James, on One Nation Radio.
This is Kenny Omega. We're listening to One Nation Radio. Check it out, guys. These guys know what's up. Big Kenny Omega fans, that's all that counts to me. Goodbye and good night. Bang.
Hey, folks. Welcome to this week's edition of One Nation Radio. I'm James Boyd, and here with me I have Rich Latta. What's going on, man?
It's close to midnight. So,
I mean, that sounded so good. We might be taken down for DMCA strike. So, like, you see, you better stop this shit now.
That's how we get around that.
Oh, okay.
You know? Can't play the actual music, but
I mean, it was close. It was close.
It was close. You know,
yeah. Like,
happy
look,
Halloween, James.
Rich Latta vocals, Michael Jackson vocals. I mean,
nearly the same. Honestly,
it's close. It's close. It's
nearly the same.
This close. The timbre is like so. I didn't recognize before, but now, okay, I get it. I see what you're doing. You see you. All right.
Indeed.
Yeah. So when we get these new like albums in the future for the Michael Jackson vault, I see. And all of a sudden, like, you start driving a Bugatti, I know, or a Hellcat, I know like where it's from. Okay.
I'll be able to use that line, like, you know, where is such and such's Bugatti, you know. But yeah, man, it is Halloween. I am, for the people that are in the audio medium, incentive to check out the Twitch. I'm in the Cobra Kai gi, you know, representing, you know, the All Valley tournament and all that. And James is here beardless. Where's your stash, James?
Man, so I had to get my passport renewed. So I had to go, you know, I had like just a rough beard for like a month or something like that. So I went to, you know, line myself up and all that stuff. And I've long story short, like, I've trimmed myself up and all that kind of stuff and kept myself tight for like years now at this point, since like 2015. Man, I went to, like, cause I was in such a rush. Like, cause I freehanded. So like I was trying to like trim down my beard. Like, I got 2 set of clippers. I got like a, you know, like a pair of like shapers, and like I got a pair of normal, just, you know, regular cutting. And I went to cutting clippers, and I went to with the shape ups, tried to like freehand, like, just it's going very like over the mustache, trying to, you know, get, cause, you know, sometimes like you can keep it lined up, but like it'll be thick or long, and it'll be like, it'll get into your like your nose. So I was trying to do that. Man, I messed around and...
You need them little mini scissors.
Bro, I should have used those. I didn't. So, anyway, in a rush, done it a million times before, in a rush, right over the mustache. And, like, the only 2 options at that point was either Michael Jordan Hitler mustache, which I guess we got...
No.
Right.
We can't be doing that.
So that's a fucking no, especially after this week, right?
Or last 2 weeks. There.
And... Or like the white guy, mustaches, beard, it was also like just as much a no for me. So I was like, man, I just gotta take it all off. It'll be back in a month. Whatever, it is what it is. So,
gotta destroy and rebuild.
Yeah. Know. So I guess so I don't know. Like, I guess I'm Charlie Villanueva for or Bobby Lashley for Halloween. I don't know. Or Frank Thomas or Barry Bonds. Have you seen Barry Bonds and Frank
Bob
Thomas?
Sapp.
Oh my god. Bob Sapp. Oh my god. Oh, do you remember the TV show from the 90s, Rock?
No.
Oh my god. Okay, so it was a black family in, like, I think Detroit, and like dude was a garbage man, and just like only hair on his head was eyebrows. Same thing. And like I'm just like, bro, I
oh, okay, I know you're talking about Charles Dutton. Yeah. Okay, man, fresh face. This man said birthday next month. Now I'm about to take some years off.
Bro, awful. Cause you know I got gray in my beard. Like I don't know if the camera catches that. Like, but like I have pride in like not being afraid to age. Like I saw something online about like I think China has found a cure for baldness. I'm like, I don't care. Like I'm good where I'm at. Like I'm not trying to resuscitate the game because y'all already seen me like this. It's over. Right? Like, or maybe y'all don't know, but like, yeah, I have the line still there. It's the back that's the problem. So it's done. It's over. Like Vince Carter, it's over. Like
you can't be riding with the reverse sunroof.
You're not finna catch me coming out. Yeah, moon situation. Like top back like old boy. So like I'm never going to try to be like, yeah, you know, this me out here back. Like, no, I'm not back. In fact, it's going to get worse over time. It's only going to progress, right? So, like, I'm okay with aging. I'm not doing none of that shit. Like, I have gray in my beard. Y'all may or may not be able to see it over the year. So we've been doing this or whatever else. But like, nah, man. And like, I shaved it down. I'm like, bro, I look ridiculous. Like, I look, I guess, younger. I don't know, whatever. But I look ridiculous either way. Like, I don't look myself. I had a beard for years. So it's like, whatever, man. Like, at least, like, I ain't one of them dudes that, like, has to have a beard because I ain't got no chin or no strong jawline, but I still look ridiculous.
Bro.
So, that's how it's going to be for the next few weeks on One Nation Radio. So, you know, get your jokes off.
You'll be back in the game in, like, a week and a half.
Nah, my hair doesn't grow like that. It'll be a month. It'll take, like, a month.
If I mess around and cut mine off, mine will be back. I'll be back in the game, like, a week and a half.
Yeah,
foolish.
Like next week you'll probably see some stubble.
Yeah, I got like
is what it is.
Maybe a couple grays in the chin right here, and I think I got like one like on the beard line over here. But besides that, I'm not fighting that same fight at the moment. So,
imagine me out here on that Kevin Nash program, just for just lighting it up, lighting up a beard. Like, nah, man, stop,
bro. Bro, it's funny. Like, Nash used to just show up. Hair jet black, and then that shit looks insane. Like it's like, hold on, bro. And then I think it most recently happened to Bobby Fish. So like after AEW released him, yep.
You used to talk about that for a few years. Yeah.
After AEW released him, there's this picture of the car. He let the beard grow out, and you know he was completely gray all the way around. I think Keith Lee did the same thing.
Oh yeah, he definitely has beige, and also like he's getting thin or whatever else. But like, it's fine.
Right. He showed up with a fresh Beijing last week on Dynamite.
Yeah.
Or excuse me, on Rampage. Well,
both, because he was on Dynamite as well in the tag match with FTR.
So Dan said, you guys going to pony up and get those blue check marks? No. I do not. I will never give Elon Musk a dime if I can help it.
I don't like. I know people talk about how problematic he is. I haven't like ever delved into Elon Musk. I don't care.
Same, but really, it's just everything that has come across my desk with him.
It's off-putting.
It has not been endearing.
Yeah, like the only thing that I've ever heard around the Elon Musk thing that I thought was any bit actually interesting was like the simulation theory thing. That's it. Mm-hmm. But that's just like a conspiracy going down the rabbit hole thing, and like. I gotta say, like at this, like I'm only willing to delve into those kind of conspiracies because the other kind of conspiracy always is a doorstep away from anti-Semitism. So
you might as well get right to it. Kyrie Irving, bring your ass to the stage, my boy. The pack is going up. On behalf of, I have friends that are Jewish. I have grown up around Jewish people probably my whole life without realizing it or anything like that. I think the things that he shared were absolutely abhorrent. I spoke with a friend of mine that thinks Kyrie Irving is the dumbest athlete that has ever like lived, and only compared him to like John Rocker. It all like much in the same way that we were saying about Kanye, where all the stuff was leading here.
Mm-hmm.
That's what has been going on with Kyrie for years, and it was on this Irvis Flat stuff, the vaccine.
Bro, it's crazy.
It's like you can just draw a straight line.
Bro, it went from 2017, I think, was when like the flat Earth thing, and people were like, "What?" And then 5 years later, we're here.
Absolutely disgusting. So if you guys didn't know what happened, if you're under a rock, Kyrie Irving sent out a tweet promoting some documentary that was said to be like this. It was like this Jews and slave ships.
Okay,
like
so he sold it, or sorry, he posted the link to it under the guise of this is like lost history.
Sure it is
of our African ancestry, and I'm from Florida, born and raised. There hasn't been much time, many days I've spent outside of this state. So like I don't running into a black Israelite or like a 5%er or like anybody outside of Christian faith as black. Like I don't really run into that. But I know up north, like you run into Muslims, like Nation of Islam, the Fruit, all that. Like you run into black Israelites, you run into all of that, and like around a lot of all of that is a real easy like Venn diagram, and the center circle is like all of this stuff, and then it comes to eventually some form of anti-Semitism, right? By way of black people or the chosen people of God, and like Jews have, and and according to them, like Jewish people, European Jewish people have like hidden that, and then they talk about a lot of the same things that, like, quite frankly, like, people in the KKK talk about when they talk about Jewish people, or Nazis talk about when they talk about Jewish people, which is...
There's a lot of strange overlap that you...
When they talk about when they talk about and say stuff like, there's a disproportionate amount of access and control they have, and blah, 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 and then they go into then saying, all the next stuff, like, let's round them up, and all that other bullshit that goes further than that. So,
there's a lot of strange overlap in some of these things that you wouldn't think make sense, but when you examine it, it's like, oh, I see what y'all got in common.
Right. Like, for example, like Kyrie Irving and Brian Kendrick have nothing to do together, but except they're both gigantic conspiracy theorists. Therefore, when you think of a lot of the big conspiracy theory stuff out there, like it's always a rock's throw away from eventually getting into some version of anti-Semitism, which is fucking problematic because these are people that were slaughtered, right? And then you also have people that talk about, well, how many really got slaughtered? It was like, okay, stop there. Don't want to talk with you. We're done. I'm done. I am not suffering any conversation talking about, Holocaust denial in any way, shape, or form. I'm not doing it with anyone. So, when you see that Kyrie like
shares
that link, people immediately go to, well, wait, that book has this in it. Would obviously look, not a shocker. False, disproven. That's the word I'm looking for. Disproven quotes, disproven history stuff that is. Things kind of like the Willie Lynch stuff that is like stuff that is like been said a lot, but not actually no proof of actual existence and stuff. And so it was like, and so it's curious. Yeah, unverified. Yeah, so it was curious. So I was like, what? It's like, oh no, he's a black. And at first I was, oh no, he's black. He's on to we're all kings and queens thing. It's like, oh, like okay.
Got news for everybody. We all weren't.
Right. Like, how does that work? We were all kings and queens. So who was doing the labor to make the cities in infrastructure work? Like when we were in the motherland, that doesn't like that same thing when people talk about cities, right? Like there needs to be affordable housing so that there can be people to do all of these jobs to make the city work for literally these rich motherfuckers on the Upper East Side. Like you can't do one without the other. But whatever. Besides the point, get back to Kyrie. Then the quotes. So once I saw people say this book is anti-Semitic, I was like, and I saw some quotes from the book. I was like, oh, wow. I was like, okay, so it's based off this book, but it isn't a movie. Let's see how bad this gets. And then people start pulling into the quotes from the movie, and they start referencing quotes from Adolf Hitler. I was like, oh no, weird. Open and shut, Case far. Johnson. Sprinkle some crack on them. It's a wrap. And then after the Saturday night game, the press conference, just
comes out here and refuses to elaborate about anything. He displays grade 1 levels of engaging in conversation. He is pretty much, he has this air about himself where it's like he knows the answers. Everyone else is stupid for not knowing the answers.
Right. He's condescending.
It is happening.
He's condescending, especially to media, because he doesn't feel like the comedian has been nice to him throughout his career, even though a good deal of it is self-inflicted, but still, and because of that, like, he gets asked a question that isn't fair, like, why did you post this? Why do you promote this? And then he's arguing and say, well, I just posted the link. That's not promotion.
I'm like, no, that's literally what it is. It's like the problems with a lot of people is like they don't like know the definitions of things,
right? Or
like they'd be like, yo, when you tell them what it is, they're like, no, it's not that. No, that's literally what it is, and that's because they're post fact. And this ties in with that Elon Musk check stuff. Like people use the checks on Twitter for safety concerns, verification, stuff like that. It's
because places that you need like legitimate news outlets, New York Times, Washington Post, MSNBC, CNN, hell, even Fox News. You need to be able to go on to social media and be able to find the links or the accounts that are from these particular media outlets or from these particular brands or from these particular celebrities. So you curb off and curtail disinformation. However, like, what have we been dealing with the last, since 2015?
By deconstructing all that, everything just becomes the Wild West. And then it's like, there is no like agreed upon fact. Like people think facts are opinions when like they are not. Like I'm like, this is a cigar, and then like, no, it's not. But like, yes, it is. Like, and then like it's just a natural tension right there. We knew Kyrie was reposting the Alex Jones stuff, which is absolutely ridiculous. We have the him moving forward on this thing now, and it's just like, this is sad. Like, and it is embarrassing, and the strange silence around the league to me doesn't say a lot for the league, because I know Kyrie Irving's not the only person. Kyrie Irving's not the only person that feels like this.
Bingo. Because look, the league is like 80% black, and the NBA has sold itself as being the most liberal major North American promotion or major sports promotion or company or league in North America. And that is to appeal towards a majority white fan base or market, right? So the people that they're appealing to are liberal leaning. Black men are liberal leaning only in vote. You take out literally any other you take out race. You take out race
if you put all the ingredients in a blank cereal box, like
right. Like, so for example, right, I think it's like over 95% of black women vote democratically, right? Vote liberally, right? It's like 80, it's somewhere in the 80s for black men, right? And then think about what we've seen when we see some of these dudes out here talk about they voted for Trump, or they're wearing MAGA stuff, or they're trying to, or they're quote unquote co-opting, or they don't understand what the big deal is. It's because the misogyny of this stuff appeals to them more than the part where like they hate black people. Like, and that's the part that gets lost in the intersectionality part. So when I say all of this, the thing that is why like it's so damning of the conservative party in this country is that like we know plenty of people. Look, black people on just on percentage, more black people believe in God in this country than white people do, right? Mm-hmm. You want to talk about stuff correlating to thoughts and feelings on resentment towards homosexuals. There's a lot of that in the community. Misogyny, a lot of that in the community, right? The only thing that's keeping them out there, the only thing that's keeping them out of voting, this particular demographic from voting. Sorry, go ahead.
The obsession with capitalism.
Yes, that too, because that's also a linchpin and a bedrock to try to pull themselves out of that. They think, even though, they'll still be white people still be racist to you, but I get that, but so. I get their logic behind it, but when you examine it from a macro level, no, you'll still just be a rich dude, and they'll still be a rich dude, and they'll still say all type of stuff about you, which
they'll
literally like, yeah, right, and it'll drive you even more mad or insane, or make you start saying stuff about Jewish people like Kanye. Like think about Watch the Throne in 2010 or 11 or whenever that was, and think of look at where Kanye is going from there. He's going off the deep end. My point was, you look at all of that, or you look at a lot of that, and the only thing that is keeping 85% of black men, in theory, is that thing where they know, these people in the Republican Party, don't give a damn about us. In fact, do everything literally in spite of us trying to gain equity in this country more than the Democrats. So we'll vote for the lesser evil, in theory, right? But that's the one thing holding it. That's the one thing holding it. To me, it seems like that's the one thing holding it. If the Republicans weren't racist, it'd be a wrap. But whatever.
But on the Kyrie thing,
yeah. So man. It's so when we talk about the league or whatever, so you see the thing. Look. LeBron want to say what? He talked about saying whoever's lyrics it was talking about Jewish money. I've seen him in the barbershop series talk about the things we always hear, right? We need to be insulated as a community amongst ourselves, how the Chinese or the Vietnamese or the Jewish people, that always comes up. And the thing is also, I think that black people don't understand, a lot of black people don't understand, the stereotypes for, discrimination against Jewish people isn't the same as the demonstration against black people. We feel like we are the dirt worst because of slavery and Jim Crow and Reconstruction and all that. And I'm not getting into the Olympics of it. I'm not getting into who gets the gold medal for oppression. Not doing that. But when you think of the stereotypes that white people have for black people as being stupid, being lazy, hyper-violent, hypersexual, all of that stuff, right? And then the stereotypes for Jewish people are well organized, they have a lot of money, because of banking or being lawyers or all that kind of stuff, and they control money and power and Hollywood and all that kind of stuff. And they say, well, damn, those are good stereotypes to have. But it's no. You think they are until all of a sudden they put your great nana into that fucking kiln. No. Because it's all resentment. White people resent black people, and white people resent Jewish people. for different reasons, but it's still resentment. And that resentment will lead towards attempted extermination.
It'll lead to all this crossover too. This crossover of like pulling,
right?
But for some reason we don't.
Yeah. So like when we say this kind of nonsense, we don't recognize that it is nonsense, and then we end up with people saying a lot of things that we've heard similar to Kyrie over the years of throughout our whole lives. So, I gotta say, like I've had so many of these conversations. And I've heard so much of this stuff in places, and I'm just like, I immediately check out. Like at this point, I just check out. I'm not going to try to argue with these people. They made up their mind. I don't rock with them. It's over there, right?
Yeah, I was talking to someone I know in real life on Twitter about it, and I was just like befuddled on the amount of cap that he was saying that he just didn't understand like what the issue was here, and I'm like, I can't believe this, but it is shameful what Kyrie is doing and the deniability of everything, and
because it's such a childish deniability. It's like, I didn't promote it, I merely posted it, and for those that I offended,
trying to argue over the semantics,
right? And for those I didn't offend, and for those who I offended, it wasn't meant to offend you; it was to educate my people. You're teaching your people garbage. That offends me.
Like if he's trying to teach something, please let it come from a book with a barcode.
Yeah, man, it's a mess. It's
fuck. And then with the Kyrie thing, these are clearly people that don't fucking read.
Yeah. And at least with Kanye, he flat out tells you he doesn't read. Right, he
wears it as a badge of honor.
He lets you off. Yeah, he wears a badge of honor. He straight off tells you all vibes. With Kyrie, he'll be like, yeah, I read. I watch things all the time. I had plenty of time in the off season. He said that at the press conference on Saturday, and it's like,
sir, YouTube University is not a school.
The smile you have on your face is like, bro, we're looking at you, and we're like, bro, you're reading disinformation. Like you're reading, like you're whatever, man. Like
lost cause.
It is sad because like I have always thought of Kyrie as a sensational, fun watch, but like ultimately a player that is a luxury if he's on a winning team. Like I don't think he is someone that like you can quite frankly trust, and that's been proven over the last 5 years. But he seemed to have, but at the time before it's gone bad over the last 5 years. Before that, like it seemed that like he just wanted to play ball and that was it. And then as he gained leadership, he showed more of his personality. And like now I can see why like when you talk about those Cavs years, like people used to say that like he was kind of aloof, kind of standoffish, kind of like not space cadet because that wasn't the term. It was more like he was quick to disassociate and kind of go into loner mode at times. And I used to think, all right, well, people have bad days. It is what it is. It's fine. Comes some slack. Like he comes through when it comes and plays, whatever else. And he's played this year, but like once he starts missing the games for this, that, and the third, and all this kind of stuff, I started like, okay, bro, like what is it? And then the bubble thing happened where like he wanted to come to the bubble and not play. And then they told him, don't come to the bubble if you're not going to play. And then like talked to other people. Cause like Kyrie is a very popular in league circles. He's always been popular in league circles. Right. So like when Woj wrote that thing calling him a disruptor, people immediately said, no, he's not. We all love Kyrie or whatever else. Like, and then as the years progress, you see how much further this and weird this thing has gotten with him, and it's like, he has on multiple occasions said that like basketball is not the biggest thing for him, and that's perfectly fine to try to find a life work balance when you're as talented as that dude is, right? It may piss off some people that will never be close to that talented at anything in their lives as Kyrie is with dribbling and finishing it around the basket. But that is what it is. People get tapped on the head with gifts. Some and people are able to awaken them. Some Some just don't, or some can't awaken them. It is what it is. But I thought that, like, you know, after last year, how bad it was, he would take some type of accountability, like, you know, given the situation he's in, given that, like, he's on the last year of a big money deal, and, like, he's supposed to be a contract where he plays himself and get his, you know, his last max contract or whatever else. And that's never,
like, it's like he's showing up, like, statistically, it seems like.
But you wouldn't want him on your team. Hell no.
No, this is not worth the risk. This is not worth the PR. No. This is not worth the headache. Like
bro,
you've seen how he act when he's not in the contract year. Come on, man.
And you know, thinking back, like last year when you know, the Palestinian Israeli conflict, when he taught, you know, pro Palestine out, and, like, I don't really touch on that, but from that perspective, last year I was like, I'm surprised he said it. I mean, he has valid points, but I'm surprised he said it in Brooklyn, right? And then a year later, it's like, and it makes me think, like, wait, was he on that for the right reasons? Yeah, so it's all weird. It's really, really weird, man. It's really weird and unfortunate, and, like, it's sad because, like, he's one of the very few Duke dudes, as a North Carolina fan, that I'd be like, oh yeah, that's definitely one of them. That's one of them ones. Like, it's like he's a hell of a basketball player, but nah, man, like, he's off the list for me. He's off the list. Don't ever want to have a conversation with him. Like, it seems like y'all got to put all y'all. Look, Brandon Ingram, Zion, and Jason Tatum. That's what y'all got to rock with.
That's the new. The new triad. Yeah. Like, Kyrie, nah, you gotta stay away, and then
can't embrace him. Can't bring him back on campus, especially that campus. Because that campus, you know, they produce, you know, Richard Spencers and Stephen Millers. Like, there is a strong conservative anti-Semitic what do you call wave that has came out of Duke University in the last since 2000, especially post Duke lacrosse.
Look, maybe Kyrie gets there and they're like, all hail Caesar's home.
Oh man,
at this rate,
strange bedfellows, if that were the case.
Yep. All right. So enough of this. Kyrie Irving, you can go to hell.
You watched that recently or something?
No,
the Shivani,
just always got to have that on hand in case you need it.
Yeah.
But big news in the world of women's wrestling. We had the release of the PWI Women's 150, and I gotta say, James, I think I like this list a little bit more than the men's PWI 500, which I thought was an all-time, like for as much as, like, the lists normally suck, that was like an all-time bad list.
I think it was a bad list. The 500 was a bad list in a bad year to try to figure that out because of the number of top people that normally are, like, always around. It's like one of those years where it's like the normal field of, like, perennial MVP contenders. Like, you just had, like, oh, Kawhi goes down, LeBron goes down, Steph goes down. What the hell are we going to do? That's kind of what it felt like this year as far as PWI 500. Obviously, you know, you had Becky, you know, came back. Charlotte was gone. So, like, there's a little bit of that. But
Sasha's not around.
Yeah, Sasha in and out. But for the most part, like, these, especially with, like, the gaining Western attention that Stardom has gathered over, you know, like, post Bushiroad purchase, this
was the year to do it.
They have filled the gaps in, like, imagine, like, this was like 2018 and they had the PWI 150, and, like, you know, they might put two Japanese women on the entire thing that don't work primarily in America. Like, it would have been, like, really, you know, weird. So yeah, like, I think that Stardom's rise has, like, helped make these lists look more legitimate, or make the 150 look more legitimate. Yeah,
so let's start at number 10. There are some, like, similarities with the men's and women's list, like especially starting at like the number 10 spot. So that's Taya Valkyrie. I believe she's the AAA women's champion at the moment. If you compare to the men's list, like Jonathan Gresham was number 10, right?
Yeah.
So it's like they both have like these quote unquote world titles that were like kind of like not really cared about or focused on or anything like that. But they essentially, because they have that, they get a top 10 ranking. That's what that seems like. I haven't really heard too much about Taya's matches or work or anything like that.
When was she? What month was she released in with that set? What set of people was she released? I can't remember. Was it the one before or after Morrison?
After.
Okay,
I believe. So number 10 was Taya. So I don't really have much on Taya, but number 9, Starlight Kid. Starlight Kid, sensational this past year. This is about a year since the turn?
The turn was more toward like early summer, late spring type. Like I want to say it was like May, but you had to turn. And then the thing that also helped her definitely that I don't think people take account for when they talk about like belts, like, you know, if Taya's on here for being the AAA champion, or someone's on here for being an Impact champion, well, Starlight Kid, throughout the evaluation period, she had 3 different belts. Like she was the high speed champion until she lost to Azumi. She won the tag titles for a couple months. We're dropping them back to FWC, and then she, you know, her and Saki Kashima and Momo became the trios champion. So like she always had a belt on her, and she was always like in something interesting, and that carries a favor for you for PWI if like you're in a promotion that people really care about. Like, so she was definitely someone that was deserving, and like in terms of Stardom MVP or whatever else, like I would put her like in that Tam Julia spot of like non-top champion doing super interesting things, whatever else. I would definitely put her in the top 5.
Yeah, so like I think she's been like sensational since the heel turn. Like it feels like she's cool. She's easily translatable for any wrestling fan, I think. And you know, being a mass wrestler is always cool.
Yep.
She's got a lot of years in front of her. She could threaten one day, you know.
Oh, she's going to win one of these.
Yeah.
One of these years.
One of these
in
years.
The next decades or whatever. Yeah.
Charlotte Flair, number 8. I don't know about this one, man.
She was a SmackDown champion at some point during this evaluation. Like she went to WrestleMania.
She was the champion. And she was the champion for a lot of the period without defending the belt, having matches for it. I believe,
also had a weird long, and she's been gone since I don't know how long. She's been gone for months now.
Yeah, so you know, I guess this is here strictly off the strength of beating Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania. Was she immediately gone
after she lost the belt to Ronda?
I believe so.
So that was like Extreme Rules, right?
Yes. No. Right after WrestleMania, it was like Backlash. WrestleMania Backlash.
Oh, that's right. They went Backlash. I was thinking of, you know, they moved Extreme Rules after WrestleMania for a couple years, a few years ago. So yeah. So she's been going for a while.
Up and down kind of year for Charlotte.
So I think the end of the evaluation period was like the end of like October 1st or like late September. So she missed a lot of time.
Yeah. So she's been having a lot of vacations. So shout out to Charlotte. Number 7, Stand Up, Saya Kamatani, number 7. I was very happy to see tall Saya here. She has held the white belt all year, pretty much. Her rise to the white belt happened at the end of last year. Yes, Black Sabre Jr. comments, tall Saya-ism, indeed. You know, just kind of building herself up as a future top champion. I would imagine at some point. The second
she loses that red belt, she needs to be thrown into the red belt division. Like she needs to be like, second she loses, she needs to be thrown in like into the running up the mountain like Tam and Julia were like after all of this year and last year.
Yeah, she's been awesome all year. One of my favorite wrestlers going, male or female. So very happy to see Tall Saya getting the love. Yeah, and
for my money this year, she's at worst number 2 for best women's wrestler of 2022 as far as
I got a lot of people out here say she's number 1. Like, and
because I think the thing is like I think the people that will say that, I'll be like, yeah, I get it. And like, you're telling me that you're really focusing on just the pay-per-views or whatever else. Like, if you want to go like house show through house show, Korakuen through Korakuen, and also all of that is still Shuri. And so, but what are we talking about? We're talking about number 2. So like, she's been great. And also I think like, if you're talking about like, storyline stuff or whatever else, I think she's a little lacking in that. But the matches have been the matches. And the matches have been great.
She's there on all the big shows, defending the belt.
Yep.
Winning a lot.
Because look, ain't too many people can go after that Starlight Kid in a Azumi title change match and not get blown and not just get completely like snored on. That match from Natsuko was great.
Number 6.
Like, could Triple H and Randy Orton top that?
Definitely not. Black Saber Jr. said this is the back and forth between Saya and Shuri for number 1 woman in Stardom this year for me, but both have been spectacular. Yep, top tier candy indeed. The Bird fighting ghouls.
Yeah, Twix is my favorite candy. I just haven't had it in I don't know how long.
Yeah, I had to do the thing. So, number 6, someone that does not eat any candy. It looks like Jordynne Grace. She is, I believe she's the Impact champion now, if I'm not mistaken.
She's defending against us. I forgot who it was recently. Like, she had a promo that a lot of people that was circulating a little bit. I want to say a couple weeks ago. That was good. I don't remember the end result. I don't know if she's still champion or not, but she's been Impact champion for a little bit.
She's had a couple notable matches. One with Masa Slamovich, who is number 14 on the list. If there's a joke coming over, chances are she's going to pass through Masa Slamovich somewhere. So, but yeah, Jordynne Grace, like I think kind of her story is like, you see her on social media because Impact's a lower profile promotion. She's got to kind of like promote herself a lot through that.
She does a good job with it.
She takes advantage of that for sure.
She don't take too many L's on Twitter.
Yeah,
she has a good win-loss record.
As long as she stay away from that Benoit stuff, like she's good.
yeah. I forgot about it earlier in the year.
Yeah, number 5, the TBS champion Jade Cargill, somebody that's never lost, literally LeVar Ball status. They essentially created a belt for her to keep her going and all that, and she's making strides. And I think they've run into kind of like a snag with her at the moment, but I'm sure they'll probably figure it out. With her, of course, like Statlander went down, so I'm sure that was like her fall thing. So incredible growth for her thus far. Still a lot of potential to go if she wants to like stick with this and all that. So I want to see just more from her, like longer matches and actually like doing something back and forth. Zora Hart's bringing up a good comment. I'm glad they gave her Nyla's actual program instead of just a defense. So yeah, it's like she's doing stuff back and forth. I like her promos. Wrestling's, the wrestling's wrestling at this point. Yeah. So like, but she'll go out there and surprise you sometimes, which is nice.
Yeah. And this is a kayfabe list, and that's the main thing. Like, she's undefeated. Like, she's very charismatic, and she, cuts great promos occasionally for I want to say regularly, but like she's known to be out here and cut interesting, compelling promos. So it's like, yeah, that's why that's deserving of the top 5 in kayfabe. Yeah, she's undefeated.
Yeah. Number 4, Becky Lynch. So Becky had the championship for quite a while for the marking period before coming off of it to Bianca at WrestleMania. Yep. Then she was kind of in and out of, that, like she was winning some matches on Raw, but not really getting booked on pay-per-view. They do the big rematch at SummerSlam, lose again to Bianca. Number 4, I can't be upset at it here because like she showed like kind of a renewed vigor. As much as I detested like the character stuff from her and thought it was unearned and kind of lame, she showed up with
fighting against the crowd because they want to cheer her. Yeah, right.
And like she kind of showed up with kind of like a point to prove. Like I think like as a worker, where she looked better as a worker. I think from SummerSlam 2021 to present day than she had maybe since NXT. even then? Because that was like the knock on her. Like everybody thought she was just a not good wrestler. Like throughout the Rise of the Man and all that stuff.
Yeah, and it was weird. It's like, are you not watching what she was doing with Charlotte? Like it was weird. I think she was doing her best. I think she was.
They were calling for Charlotte to be inserted in the match to save the match quality.
They only made the match worse. Yeah. I think that. I can't disagree with you. I think that she was having like her best big match like consistency of her career that we had seen of her, like from NXT through to even the man stuff, and in 2019, like she's had her stuff with Charlotte, her stuff with Sasha, through the years, but like the stuff with Bianca, and stuff with Asuka is also like top quality stuff that she's had over the years. And I think you're right on that. Like she has definitely came back with something to prove. Like she dropped a kid and came back and like she was in the ring like just as good as she's ever been, maybe better. And it was like very impressive. It was very impressive. It sucks that she got hurt. I don't know how long she's out for, but like whenever she comes back, I think she's gonna kill it again.
Indeed. So score one for the moms, for Becky. So also Jade. And up next, number 3, Thunder Rosa. So very controversial selection here, I think, for some. But if you just lay it down on paper, Thunder Rosa had a lot of matches that were good and won a lot of them.
Yeah.
And it was like, people were begging for her to win the championship.
Yep.
I don't care what people want to like try to rewrite right now about her, and there's a lot of like stuff around her like with the injury, and they think there's maybe some shenanigans going on. I don't have that information, so I don't know. Like I'm not really like interested in the litigating that. But she's the number 2. She's the champ, number 2 promotion in America right now, and like, let's just go through like some of the matches she was having. She was the Warrior Wrestling Women's Champion,
right,
as well. She was doing a lot of independent stuff, like with Athena. She won that big cage match from Britt to switch the championship. Yep. She defeated Toni Storm. She went to Miyu.
Yep.
She went to Japan and faced Miyu.
Yep.
The rematch wasn't as good, but the first one was really good.
Right.
Got the tag team with Thunderstorm stuff.
Yep.
I think when you're just talking about the merits of like PWI, like for me, this is like kind of inarguable. She beat Taya, so add that on there.
Yeah, definitely deserving a top 5 spot. I know, the same way we talk about Punk at this point right now, it's not gonna be as bad, but like there's a lot of Guevara gets it too. Like it's gonna be a lot of like shit they're gonna get over the next for right now, at least. We'll see, if that dissipates over time. But so I get why she's getting people jeering at this or whatever else. But she was definitely deserving of her spot. Yeah.
So number 2. So I guess we should do this. Number 2 and number 1. There were only 2 real options for these 2 spots, and I was pretty shocked here. But I guess we'll start. Number 2 was Bianca Belair. Number 1 was Shuri. Yep. So let's start with Bianca. So Bianca has kind of risen to a spot where she's like the John Cena of women, I feel like. I think she impresses in her big matches all the time. If they don't like, I think the ladder match they had was pretty much as they were going to do with Bayley's limitations physically at this point.
Hey, you just came back from a really long absence from a knee injury that like probably indicates that like you had complications. Let's put you on a ladder.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. When there's a big show that's coming and there's a Bianca Belair match, chances are it's going to be well thought out, well put together, and she's going to display her talent, her athleticism, and just like a great entrance, like an overall great presentation in wrestling. That being said, she was not number 1 this year. And it's amazing that PWI 500 actually like kind of didn't just bow to WWE as they do in some cases. And, you look at Bianca's year, She had the belt taken off of her at the beginning of the market period and was being booked atrociously up until Elimination Chamber, maybe. Like, because I remember she got thrown out of the Royal Rumble.
But she did perform well in the Rumble, though, at least. Like, she actually looked like one of the people that could actually have won until Ronda came out. You're like, oh, no, she's not winning.
Yeah. They were not letting her beat certain people at certain times. They were doing a lot of weird stuff with her, so that probably, like, dinged her a little bit. But ever since she's got the title, she's been, 100 miles running, essentially, ever since then. So, but Bianca's excellent.
Like, much like how Tanya says, like, I used to make this joke about, like, who's going to be Brock Lesnar, put it on Asuka. Like, when Tanya says, like, put the belt on, have Roman drop it to Bianca, I'd be like, yeah, same feeling I had with Asuka. Like, if you're going to, like, they're that kind of, like, level where they're going to consistently be really good, they're over, they're believable, whatever else. Like, I know it's never going to happen, but, like, you could do it. I would watch that match.
Number one, though, with a bullet, and we came on this show in October 2021, and I think I just had like a breakdown of like just coming to my senses on how great Shuri was. I was like, I think we just declare like the best women's wrestler in the world. Yeah,
that's when she like after the Grand Prix, not after that 925 show when she has the match with Takumi at a 20-minute time limit that I gave 4 3/4, and then she goes and has the match in the final like 25, 30 minutes later with Momo. That's at least 4.5, might be 4 3/4. Is like with a 30-minute break in between. It's like like Mayu was the best women's wrestler in the world from like the summer 2019 until that point, and then that's when like the crown just got taken off her and was in this Shuri's. It just is what it is. And like you can even argue that like if you want to like go through the run in the Grand Prix in general, she was in the process of taking it, but like that was the period on the sentence when she took it from Mayu, in my opinion. And like she's been running with it ever since, and she's been great. Like she's been one of the very best wrestlers in the world. Like by the end of this year, like she's going to finish top 5 in most outstanding and wrestler of the year from the Observer again, more likely than not. In back-to-back years, I don't know how many women have ever done that. Might be Manami Toyota and Manami Toyota. So then when you throw in the, it's a kayfabe list, of course. Quality of matches and quality of opponents beating is a part of that. Like, you have Tommy she's beat Julia, she beat Mayu, she beat Tam. All people that are way up on the list. Well, Julia's not as high because the off time she had or whatever else, but like Tam's top 30, I believe. Mayu's top 20-ish, I think. We're just Utami, I forgot where she is on the list, but like we're talking about the former red belt champion and she succeeded. And then she, you also throw in the part like during the evaluation period, she's always had a belt on her, but like at one point for a week or two, she had 3 belts on her. She had the SWA belt, she had the tag belt, and she had the red belt. Like, yeah, she's a triple champion at some point this year. And then like before she became the red belt champion, she was a double champion through that first half of the year, the evaluation period. Like or first third or whatever. Like she's had an incredible evaluation period. Like,
and she does not lose often. Like,
yeah, like she's been. I mean, outside of the Grand Prix, where they did some weird stuff with her to tell the story of she's struggling, but like, outside of that, I think she's been pinned in that evaluation period. Well, outside of the Grand Prix, has she been pinned? Outside of Grand Prix matches, I don't think she's been pinned.
So let's go through that red belt title reign that she's currently still on. There's 9 matches. Like she wins it from Utami in a classic. I got the list right here. I'm gonna go through it. 36 minutes.
I was gonna do it off the top of my head. I'm gonna be like, okay.
Just an incredible match. I think for my money, the Stardom match of the year last year, not the one that was in the summer
from June 12. Last year.
She follows that up, by going out there with a newcomer in Mirai. That people just did not want to say that match was awesome for some reason. Yeah. She goes back-to-back nights against Julia and then Mayu Iwatani.
The Julia in Shuri match is one of the 5 best matches in Stardom this year.
Yep. And then she follows that up by defeating Himeka.
Yep. I gave that like 4.25. I gave the Mayu match like 4.5.
Yeah, she defeats Risa Sera by TKO
in a sprint death match that like was just incredible. And the only knock on you can give is like it should have went longer. I gave that 4.25.
They have a battle of kicks with Shuri and Momo Watanabe.
4.5
rematch of that final last year.
Yep.
She takes the next shot against Tam Nakano. Defeats her just before the Grand Prix jumps off. Another
4.5, 4 1/3 match. Yeah.
Yep. And then, she goes over Nanai Takahashi, in a war. So, like,
right.
So she's got it, man. Like,
and then I don't know when the cutoff was, but then you talk about her Grand Prix, like the opening weekend, she has a match with Azumi, and she has a match with Utami. And the match with Utami, I think, is the second best match of the Grand Prix. Yeah, like it's only 2 matches I gave 4.5 in the whole entire Grand Prix. Like a bunch of that stuff is like 4 1/3 that I knocked down to 4 1/4, and then like you have the final with Tam and Julia, and you have the Shuri Utami match.
Yeah,
she killed it. At the end, the match with Tam in the closing stretch of it, when Tam is like when Shuri is like won the Grand Prix last year, and now she's facing elimination. She has to stave off a person that is like literally chasing her throughout the year, with her, and then she cuts her off and says like, if you want to get back to me, you got to go win this fucking tournament. It didn't happen, but that was the story. And like, literally it was like, the story is either Tam or Julia has to win the Grand Prix to get to Shuri level, Shuri's God level. That's what it was. That was the story throughout this whole year.
Yeah, like
she's just this. She's the mountaintop. I wouldn't say ace, but she is absolutely the mountain.
Like, I'm really glad they quote unquote got this right. I think this was big for Stardom. This was big for, I think there were a lot of people upset that Bianca was not number one.
Tough shit.
Those people, I say,
like, if you watched, no, just no.
Those people, I would say, please check out Shuri before you knock her down to lift up Bianca, because I don't think Bianca would appreciate that personally. If you think you're riding on Bianca Belair's behalf or WWE's behalf, I gotta say, man, like Shuri is like, she's a once in a lifetime wrestler, I think. So
we were talking about this when I found out about it late. Like y'all were talking about it in the Largo Loop thread, and Josh was like, is this legit? And I was like, I'll put it to you this way. Put the list of the top 10 from the PWI 500. Shuri, I had her ranked like she should have been in that. I would have put her right between CM Punk and Hangman Page in the PWI 500 this year. And then like you were like, I would put her in front of Punk, and I was like, I gut feeling, no, but I'm pretty sure I could be convinced to it, given that if you show me the evaluation dates, because Punk missed the beginning and the end of it. So yeah, but yeah, like this ain't just a very good for a woman participation trophy. No, this is one of the elite in the world, the whole entire world.
Yeah. Black Saber Jr. brings a great point. They saw Shuri at number one and immediately turned into Jim Cornette type racist. Yeah, it was bad on Twitter at a certain point. But yeah,
look, I'm not going, like, if the clearest thing to show me that you have not watched Shuri is to say that like Bianca Belair is better than her. I love Bianca. I think that like she's one of the few reasons why I even turn on the pay-per-views at this point. But no, it's a totally different level, and that's just how it's always been since we watched Stardom. Like the level is like the gap in difference between Stardom and WWE Women's Wrestling is not only is it larger, it has expanded, and like the gap has gotten bigger between like the gap between like when I used to watch New Japan and I would watch WWE pay-per-views and be like, this is a different level. Like it's only gotten larger since in the last 3-4 years or whatever else.
Like, and they keep adding to and I think this is a testament to Rossi. And shout out to Red Leaf and also Alex LWO for they put out that Rousey Ogawa column for the Hall of Fame on Voice of Wrestling. So if you guys haven't,
I didn't know it was out yet. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, it was a really great column. Learned a lot about Rousey that I didn't know otherwise. But yeah, if you guys maybe we can pop that link in the comment or something.
Yeah, I'll put the link in the description too, so you can, for the podcast listeners. Yeah.
And what they've done, like in Stardom, to say all that is like there's like depth and there's waves of people coming. So like, you know, whenever Shuri decides to lay it down, like there's the Julia and Tam arc is like set to complete. Then like there's Utami getting back to the title. Then there's like
the rest of the Golden Generation. Right.
Then like it's like Starlight Kid and Azumi are racing. Like, and it's like
I would throw a hand in with that too, because she's a year younger than 2 years younger than Azumi.
Yep. And then Sai Kamatani's there. So like they've just there's depth, and then these people are all working with each other and continually getting better and producing. Yep. There's not a lot of we gotta stick this sorry person out there for a month because we have them employed on a roster. So you gotta wrestle this person for like all the house shows in a month and waste your time essentially. There's none of that going on here.
And even the quote unquote sorry wrestlers are good wrestlers, like Mina. Look, Mina in the Grand Prix, like, I think that a lot of people are excited for what they see as improvement, that like this newcomer improvement that she's had. I think it is a change in game plan. I think technically she's been this good for about a year now, but like people are starting to see her like, and they're giving her that push to get her that title shot to get her into that, like Tam last year was like trying to get her. The Tam championship run last year was like, let's go ahead and like get all these people their first defenses, because that's going to be actually the white belt division going forward. It's going to be Kamatani and Natsupoi and Starlight Kid and Unagi and Mina, and like you see, like it's going to be Starlight Kid's going to have that belt eventually. Natsupoi's going to have that belt eventually. Like you see where it's going. So like she's going to have some heartbreakers, and people are going to really want her to get that belt. I don't know if she's ever going to get it, but like, I think that, after seeing what she did on road shows, at the beginning of, October with, Kamatani, I think they're going to have another great match. And like, when she came to New York in pre-show, like, she was good. She was good. Her and, Kylie were really good together. Like, I wouldn't mind Kylie getting a tour in Stardom. Obviously we already knew she was that talented. But like, same for, Kylie King, like, that match with Mayu was an easy 4.5 star deal. And like, bring her in, give her a tour, give her 3 months, and give her a title shot at some point. But yeah, so like the waves, as you mentioned, like, yeah, it's a real thing. Like, there ain't too many scrubs in Stardom.
Yeah. So like, and this is like, I just think it's the toughest competition, like amongst women's wrestlers. And then, you just look at the rest of that list. And, there's Stardom's like, well represented all throughout this. There's some Tokyo Joshi sprinkled in as well.
Yeah, like Miyu and Yuka and was Ito in the list? Should have been.
Maki Ito was on the list. 37.
Yeah.
So
she was IP champion for a while. So yeah.
So I advise you guys check out this list. It's a good list, I'd say. I'm sure like PWI, you can. Always find somebody that shouldn't be somewhere. Like, they I think the funniest triad of ranks I see is number 16, Azumi, number 17, Liv Morgan, number 18, Ronda Rousey, which is just, that's hilarious. Like those three wrestlers are linked together. Britt was number 13. Britt did a lot of losing in this evaluation period.
In the back half, definitely, yeah.
So she, probably dropped because of there. But could you have argued for Britt to be in the top 10? Sure, you could have.
Yeah, if Jordan Grace is going to be in it. Yeah, you can make the argument.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what Jordan Grace's record looks like, because she doesn't wrestle as much as Britt. It doesn't feel like, but yeah, I guess you can make the argument. Yeah.
But yeah, man. So moving on, there was some more drama that broke out regarding the the CM Punk
Brawl Out. I think
Brawl Out. Yeah, Brawl Out.
It's like Malice in the Palace. Like you got to call it a name, so it lives in infamy now.
Yep. Can we just call it Brawl Out Gate? Can we throw a gate on the back of that bitch too?
I thought you were going to say you call it a dog fight.
Speaking of a dog,
God.
you already know.
Oh, that story.
You already know.
Jeez.
I don't really be rocking with the dogs anyway. But
what a story.
Apparently, there was some information that came out of the CM Punk camp, quote unquote, that pulled up this thing that everyone immediately debunked as a lie. Who said this? I don't know. I don't know if this is coming from Punk himself. I don't know what it is, but like this is the second time that they've mentioned this fucking dog to try to like drum up some sympathy or whatever the fuck they're trying to do. This one coincided with the news of the Elite coming back Wednesday, and I was like, I know what this is.
Being backstage, and then they played the video.
Yeah, being backstage,
setting up for their return. Yeah, this
news dropped minutes before Dynamite went on air. So the Elite video hadn't played yet, but the news was out there. So this was like, this was well-timed
and I want to say the weekend before the most recent Dynamite, like Meltzer was kind of like, somebody was saying, like, hinting that like they expect him to be back imminently. And imminently being like literally a couple days.
So the Elite were actually backstage, but the whole thing, they said, the dog got his teeth hit or something like that.
Yeah,
and that's why
the back and forth of like, did they kick down the door or kick in the door or whatever else was a part of the story of the who's right, who's wrong at first, and
who's
then,
hot, who's not.
So, there's some, back channel detail dropping about Larry the dog being close to the door when the door got kicked in, which we have now learned that like a door was not kicked in, and like but the door, but
you mean there was no kicking in of the door?
But if the door, but the story goes if the door was kicked in, then like apparently it hit the dog and it caused the dog to have loose teeth. And then we find out that like the dog was already set up for an appointment for a checkup like beforehand. Like, look, I don't know how people handle their pets that they treat like their children. So like it might have already been I'm not even getting into it. I'm not gonna have nobody mad at us. We're trying to gain followers, not lose them. Let's stop and just move on. Let's just move over that. Let's take the little issue and just like put it in our pocket and just like leave it there and never talk about it again. But I don't know how they do that as far as like, regular checkups, how often checkups are. Is it like, is it literally like similar to humans where it's like, all right, every 6 months, check up, and then if like there's any little thing I notice or weird habit, check, obviously do that. But like where it was like this was a pre-planned visit where this happened to find out about loose teeth. So now it's like, okay, so like this is like garbage details to try to, trust me, I understand that like there's an independent investigator involved in all of this and eyewitnesses, the parts of the company that have no real stakes in this, that are saying, they're mostly coming down on saying Punk's side was in the wrong of this. But like, trust me, like they didn't even bother interviewing me. And plus my dog got his teeth knocked out from his door that like everyone that says wasn't kicked in, but I said it was kicked in, and it kicked my dog in the mouth. Like it's, what I'm saying? It's
a lot of
weird, man.
There's a lot of copium going around. Like, I feel like when the Young Bucks return, they need to be welcomed with this music. And James, if you got to pull this up later, write it down, the timestamp here. But
send me the link to it later.
I got to talk. I got to tell what I feel. I got to talk about my life as I see it.
Biggie. This goes out to you. This goes out to you and you and you.
This man is playing Keepin It Door.
This goes out to you. This goes out to you.
Your rain on the top with straw leprechauns.
Man, if I was real angry, right? I I'm not gonna do this. So
you gonna put this record on the dog?
No, not on the dog. No. You do a freestyle about CM Punk on the kick in the door beat, and then you say you ran on the top with short like leprechauns, all that shit, and just take off on them, and then talk about the Bucks kicking the doors down. But another thing that came from this thing was Chris Jericho. Now, bro, I would sleep that night. That news broke late as fuck about Jericho's involvement that night. I think James had actually said in one of our group chats, basically, when you all wake up, y'all see about Jericho.
Yeah, for some reason I was up at like 4 a.m., one of them weird nights with me. And like, I saw the story come out because it was probably like 5, because actually it was like the Observer dropping. And like, the details came out, and I was like, I'm not even gonna put it in there, but like, I'm just gonna give y'all some hints. I put in gifts of Jericho in like at different places and whatever else, because like everyone's be like, yeah, and like I saw some people say that like this is him being politically shrewd to get some cool points with the AEW fans or whatever else, and I have to I guess I have to remind people like Jericho was always in like this story from an oral history standpoint, because he's the person that like when people made the jokes on Twitter, and he showed the picture like after the press conference was wrapped up, you can see Jericho whisper into Tony Khan's ear, and what did they put up as a side by side? The dude that whispered to George Bush about planes running into the Twin Towers, and they made that joke. So he was always involved in this story. And then when you heard about like the players, or not players, but like the personnel meeting or the roster meeting after the fact to try to cool down some of this stuff, who did they say was running it? They said it was Danielson and Moxley and Jericho. So like he was always involved in this thing.
Promos on TV where he's talking about his locker room and all this other stuff. Like,
and he said it twice. He yelled it twice for emphasis. And we all knew what he meant when he said that shit. And like you got to throw in his history. He's the dude that confronted Brock Lesnar after he did the legitimate elbow into Randy's head to hard way him to get the story over, and they never clued in the guys on or the wrestlers in on that. So he's like, "What the fuck did this dude just shoot on this guy?" Like the Goldberg stuff. Like he has always, not always, but like he has a history of butting into stuff that may or may not actually involve him for the betterment of the roster or the promotion, any promotion he's been in. So like, yeah, this isn't like some newfound thing.
Yeah, lot of copium, a lot of tears.
With it. Yeah,
a lot of tears that are going on. Like, nah, man, like I don't feel like Jericho would have any reason to fear CM Punk for any reason. But yeah, like this came from Fightful. It was like, multiple sources said Jericho approached Punk basically unhappy about the fight, and as well as the nature of the scrum that had taken place. He basically told CM Punk that he was a cancer to the locker room and a detriment to the company. And then, it kind of came out through the Observer that Jericho said he would never work with Punk. There were numerous other top stars that share that sentiment, but Jericho's name was out front on it. Is there probably likely some, hey, can we get this guy out the way element to that? Possibly.
There's definitely some of that, and there's definitely some of the part where like they're mad.
They're mad, and like, they're trying to protect.
Just because you say you won't work with this guy doesn't mean over time you won't. Like people get over things, right? Like how many times did we hear from in the mid or in the late 90s that like Sean and Brett were never going to work with each other again, and lo and behold, what do they do? Work with each other again. Like that happens. People get mad at each other, and then people get over things, and like people, some of the things they say, they don't hold up to it, or they change their mind on it because they have got let things go. Like, so what they said at the time or right now, we don't know if that's forever, but that's not the point. Like if so many people aren't happy with one person being around, then maybe a decision needs to be made.
Yeah. And this was like, Jericho.
Is this where we talk about Kyrie again or no?
And this was like another point for the legend of Chris Jericho. The books that come out of this thing are gonna be incredible, I think, and the podcasts, and because it seems like people are just gonna keep talking about this stuff now. The investigation's over, the Elite are back. CM Punk's still injured, so I don't know if he would be back anyway.
We'll find out whenever
they've got
he
a long
heals up,
time.
whatever.
Yeah, they've got a long time to figure that out.
Yes,
whether that's happening, but it looks very unlikely right now, according to like every report that's been out for like 6 weeks. But
yeah,
you never know on these things.
Like was he like 6 months out from now? It's an eternity.
Yep. So, interesting. There, like, I think a lot of people think this is the, I mentioned that he was going to be the Pat Patterson to AEW, and so this is a way to do it.
Jericho, yeah.
But talk about other old wrestlers. KG Muto, man. If you guys don't know what has been going on with KG Muto this year, this man has put together an all-time run for the Finesser of the Year award. He's practically begging you guys to vote for him. And I know we don't cover Pro Wrestling Noah as extensively or anything, but we have found a way to talk about Muto all year. But
we have talked about Muto not regularly, but like not irregularly on the show, and he's done New Japan, he's about to do Japan again, and he was on AEW. So like
he's coming to you whether you like it or not.
Yeah. So like that Neil Diamond, we're coming to America.
Yes. So not only did this man land Sting to come to Pro Wrestling Noah for him, he landed a check with the Arthur Ashe shit.
Yep.
He has now got Shinsuke Nakamura from WWE booked against him in Noah.
Yeah, for the Budokan Hall New Year's Day show.
Yes. And unbelievable that this is happening. Shinsuke Nakamura described it as a, quote, miracle that this is happening.
Yes.
This should be an interesting watch. I don't think it's going to necessarily light the world on fire. A lot of people think Shinsuke Nakamura is going to suddenly, try
that would be fucking. That would be hilarious. That'd be hilarious. Like we see so many wrestlers, Japanese wrestlers, they wrestle how they wrestle in their home promotion, and then they come to WWE or AEW or somewhere else, and like they're just on a different level. They don't hit as hard. They get whatever reason, whatever happened, and you're just like, what's going on? Or like they think they have to play like a characteristically like hit like evil Japanese foreigner thing or whatever else. So if this man comes back and it is 2015-16 again, I am going to holler. This is what he thinks of us. This is what he thinks about us.
I will be having a word on Twitter with all the people that tell me all he wants to do is surf. I'm like, no, he laid it down on y'all. Y'all have been finessed. We told y'all like that this man was real, but like that stuff y'all trying to say is real is not the real.
Yeah,
like that's the real.
And even if like Nakamura's current status is like that's what he actually is, there is still a path towards a fun, entertaining, quality match with Muto based around like just a game of attrition and basically turn into like a Tanahashi match where it's like, I don't have, or as far as Muto, my hips are gone, my knees are shot, my hips are replaced, my knees are shot, my signature moves, they still look great. I'm going to work around that. I'm turn his knees into putty, and then it's gonna be an old man game of attrition. Like that match he had with Kaito Kiyomiya where he beat him, Kaito Kiyomiya beat him. Like that match is that match, except like Kiyomiya is like having the performance of his lifetime around this guy, and that's that limited, and the match is still great, very great. So like there is still a path to have a quality match with Muto at this stage. and like we'll see what's happening. I'm interested in the match. Like him back in Japan in a promotion where you know they don't play that shit. It's interesting to see how he's gonna perform. Nakamura, it definitely is.
Yeah, Zach thinks the match is gonna suck. I am imploring.
There is a bust rate. There's a bust percentage on it. Definitely. Yeah.
I would love to know Kano's thoughts on this match. I would love to hear him, storm the ring with a mic and say, "Take that shit back to Shinihon." Like y'all bringing these old motherfuckers into our promotion. Yeah.
Another one of these. How many? Look, that Danny Green bubble jersey. How many more?
Yes. Yes. We need Kano to come out there and wreak havoc. So a lot of people were, jumping off the bridge like, yo, the forbidden door is open. WWE and New Japan are working together. That's what they're saying because that's what they're saying. Like but they had Sue Williams had
Masawa's ring.
Yes.
Brother, we're long past disrespecting that ring.
What was I gonna say? I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, as far as the WWE thing, Sue Williams had the statement to watch on this thing. It was like, yo man, don't look now, or pay attention to. They may be trying to backdoor and weasel NXT Japan off of this shit. Like they're trying to they're doing this shit with Carl Anderson to play nice with New Japan, which is clearly a storyline. They're sending Shinsuke Nakamura to Noah. Like, so what you got to ask? What is WWE getting in return out of this? A lot of people were saying, oh, Muta can be in the Royal Rumble and stuff like that. Okay, cool.
I mean, Muto is big enough for them to want him there, and then they can even do a thing where they add him or whatever else, given that they own the tapes of WCW stuff or whatever else. So and also WCW / Crockett. So like, I can see it because the same thing applies to the reason why they did the thing with Liger. Like it's a thing of give their Hall of Fame things as legitimacy as a worldwide thing. That's why the reason why they put in Tatsumi too.
So I don't know, like there's something they're getting out of it. I don't know what it is yet, but keep your eyes open and watch some of this stuff that's going on with the younger wrestlers as well, like Yuya Uemura, and there's a lot of
Carl Fredericks. Did he get a tryout recently?
I think Fredericks was at the PC. I don't know specifically, but
so at the PC, I took that to mean took a tryout. Maybe he didn't take a tryout, but he was definitely there. Yeah.
Yeah. Like there's a lot of like wheels in motion for something nasty. You got Shawn Michaels openly in interviews.
Did I say Tatsumi when I meant Fujinami? What the fuck am I doing?
Tatsumi Fujinami. I know what you meant.
Yeah. Okay.
But you got Shawn Michaels openly in interviews talking about they want to do NXT Mexico, they want to do NXT Japan.
Yep.
So
that was like 2-3 weeks ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
So keep your eyes open. Like these, and I think Triple H is ruthless on a level that even Vince isn't, because I don't really think Vince really cared about like Japanese promotions like that.
After a certain amount of time, he didn't, because he knew the reason why he brought in like those Michinoku Pro guys was because like he thought that he needed to catch up or match with the cruiserweight stuff that was going on television. Like at this stage, he doesn't think that at this stage like he doesn't care anymore. So like I think that Vince in particular, I think Triple H, he cares about having good wrestling on his shows, like historically. So,
and I think he's going to re-implement, he's doing everything else like to re-implement old strategies, bringing all these old people back. What was his biggest thing he wanted to do? Global localization. Yeah. Of course that's coming back.
And then, eventually shutting down UK and then rebranded to Europe when there was always a plan to do NXT Europe. They were going to do a UK and a Europe. Now it's just like, let's just turn it into Europe. Like, yeah, like it was always, that was his idea.
So James,
he wanted, remember on that map, India was there. Remember they were trying to get a Latin American tournament in a South America also going. So yeah,
mm-hmm. Yeah. So we got to send wrestlers like that, like Evil Watanabe. We got to send Sonata. We got to send Natsuko Tora. we got a lot of Japanese wrestlers for you, Triple H. If you want to start up NXT Japan,
No,
James, is there anybody else you can think of?
No. Zach, you supposed said that WWE presents Zona 23. Yeah, if they bought Zona 23, and they out here wrestling, having death matches in the fucking car dump, that'd be fucking hilarious.
So it's a massively different world in Japan than it was too. Like they were trying to buy Noah and Dragon Gate and Stardom before, and those companies when they were smaller told them to get fucked. Now they're all like under corporations aside from Dragon Gate. So I don't think we have to worry about like Noah getting bought out or anything at this rate. But as far as like them putting tentacles in the company, trying to plant roots, like. WWE is not a bad word around there, different stuff like that. Like these are the first signs of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so. And I think with like so many freelancers, especially from the women's perspective, from the Joshi perspective, like there are going to be people that want deals that aren't necessarily like can just bank on just like being secure off nomads and selling pictures or whatever else. Like someone like a Jungle Kiona. Someone like a Risa Sarah. Why wouldn't they be interested if they were reached out to Maya Yuki?
Look, all these guys in Noah that are watching all these old guys come back in for spots.
Yeah, if they become impatient, yeah.
So, like if they set it up, someone will go. Mako Satomura is going to be back there probably.
Yep.
If they set it up, people will go. So. Besides that, we had some breaking news in the chat. Alexa Bliss and Asuka are the new women's tag team champions. Okay, Black Sabre Jr., this may shock you. I do not know who the previous women's tag team champions were.
Let me guess. I'm going. Wait. Don't tell me. Don't type in a thing. Wasn't it I'm sorry, Raquel Rodriguez? Because they called Raquel Gonzalez.
Nah, they lost that shit.
They lost him?
Yep, they lost that shit.
I don't know who took him off. Who took him off him? I don't know.
Damage Control. Oh, that's right.
Who it was.
They beat them 2 weeks after the tournament. So
yeah. So
Yuzuru Hart Damage Control really is cooked. Yeah, I mean they lost the pay-per-view match. They lost the belts. Now, I mean. Sarah Logan soon. We'll see.
She is due to come back, isn't she?
Yes, they're running vignettes for her.
I didn't know that, but I could have swore I heard people or someone was saying that like they're expecting her to get hired again, rehired. Yeah,
of course. Triple H bringing the whole gang back, everybody. But yeah, man.
She had better. I bet Dakota ate the pin. She had better. What else she there for? She's a good wrestler, but you get my point. Triple H has always seen her as what? A talented pin eater.
So we opened up AEW Dynamite this week. This is a show that had Jon Moxley defend the championship against Penta. There was a tag match with FTR and Swerve in Our Glory. Opened up with Casanoli and Wheeler Yuta taking on Chris Jericho and Daniel Garcia. So Regal came on commentary, and boy, that shit that he's saying to Excalibur, it just gets seemingly nastier by the week. Like, I'm pretty sure they about to be going at it in one way or another.
My thoughts were like, it's a race between Regal and Britt Baker on which commentary member they're gonna fuck. Like that, I little in my mind, I thought that. Like, look, this was the first. I know people have been talking about it for weeks, and like I've noticed it for weeks, but like this was the first time I actually laughed at it. I forgot what he said, but I laughed at it this time for real.
He said, I think like creme brulee or something.
Yes, he said he's like a creme. Each level like a scrumptious creme brulee. I was like, oh my fucking god, this guy's out of control.
Yes, grab him.
Someone get the net gun for this dude.
Yeah. Jericho ended up taking the pin here, cleans the sheet to Castagnoli. Castagnoli did his big hot tag where he runs around the the outside and all that stuff. So
it always gets over too.
Yeah, so that was cool. And kind of puts Jazz on their ass. Jazz has been running wild for probably about a month now. They haven't really looked really weak at all. Wheeler and Garcia, anytime they're opposite each other,
yep,
it's pretty good. And
is it too early to call them generational rivals, or is just like they're definitely going to be wrestling each other? They're definitely be like key rivals for each other for their careers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they basically had Hager outside. He basically got tripped. He tripped in front of Aubrey. Jericho did a springboard drop kick that sent Castagnoli out. There was more, just various like hot tags with Wheeler Yuta. Jericho tried to use the bat, but he got power bombed. There was a big giant swing, and then
it's a giant swing where I don't know, like it was a giant swing plus an airplane spin. It was super impressive.
Yeah,
like that. Dude
he had him doubled up. Yeah.
Dude's so strong.
So after that, it kind of rolls into backstage where Bryan Danielson's sitting there. He's pretty frustrated that he lost to Jericho. Garcia turned on him, and Wheeler talked back to him. Renee was here with him. Renee was all over this damn show. He basically says he realized people hate Sammy Guevara. He's going to take out all his frustrations on him tonight. Wheeler Yuta interrupted and basically said he's not a kid. He's a grown-ass man, and it's his birthday. I'm telling you, bro, that kid shit, that shit ain't like they act like Chris Paul, like somebody tapped them on the head. Like that shit ain't, And then, he shoved him, and then Castagnoli came out and basically like held these, two grown men apart with his bare hands.
Yes, because he's the real adult.
You see him there with the fucking massive chest, and
right?
Like,
and it's so much taller than both of them.
Yes,
and then you think of like how he's had to carry off Moxley before the fucking world champion. Yes, this man is so strong.
This man picks up Moxley, ain't nothing you can do about it. Until he decides.
Yes, picks up a man that's billed as 231. Like, what the fuck? Shit, like, he's unintentionally popping me doing this stuff.
Yeah. He basically said after Bryan wins, they're going to sit down and hash things out like gentlemen. I felt like they were taking shots.
Which led into what happened later in the main event angle. Yeah.
Then we got a video package. And the Elite were on it. So they start going through, it's a 15-second video package. They're showing all the voiceover stuff from some of the initial promo material to showing them various times where they were winning championships and important moments in AEW history. And they're getting like Thanos snap erased, essentially going up in flames.
Yes, turned into dust. Yes.
Something like that. The world's dumbest people on the internet got a hold of this and thought this was a sign that the Elite were like out of AEW.
That's not how that works. You don't cut vignettes explaining that someone is leaving the company. Who has ever done that?
What the fuck, man? Why are they so dumb? The cope.
Yeah, it makes their brains not work the way they should. Yeah.
My timeline exploded. All the folks, all the Elite fans were very happy to see these guys back on screen. And this seems to be like the start of the storyline that is going to get them back in. And it looks kind of interesting. So it's like they're not like I think they're doing the classic Elite fashion where they are addressing something in a way where it's like, oh, it's clearly this is what it is, but it's more subtle, and it at least has people kind of wondering like which way they're going to go with it. So do they come back and they're like, kind of remorseful, kind of contrite? Like, are they? How are they playing this history of AEW thing? Because I think that's really important. So I'm excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, I was interested. I thought it was interesting. I want to say a week or two ago, I was like, I wonder like if and when they come back, like how are they going to come back? Like they can't just announce a match and just business as usual. They have to do something, and this is something. So I appreciate the part where they can't just be like, no, what do you mean? What do you mean? Where have we been for the last 2 months? No, get the fuck out of here. You gotta actually like acknowledge that like people, somebody's been missing. People have been missing, and why? Right? Like you can't just like pretend they got, like they've been gone and like you got like Men in Black memory wiped and now they're back. Like get out of here.
Yep. So after that, we had Shivani, who's backstage with the Jazz. They were pissed about the loss. Jericho said he is issuing an open challenge to any former ROH champion next week. And it can be any kind of ROH champion, I later learned. So this could be fucking anybody. Like, I don't know who it is, but
I thought it was I still think it's gonna be Jerry Lynn.
Could be. It could be Jerry Lynn because he is a former ROH world champion,
and they laid him out 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
So like,
which means he's clear for physical activity to some level.
Man, I wonder what he can do.
It's probably still good.
Yeah.
Probably still good.
So Sammy Guevara didn't say he's going to beat Bryan Danielson because he's that damn good, and they just talked a bunch of shit. So after that, Swerve and Our Glory took on FTR. I think this was the best match of the night. I
mean, there were three great matches on the show.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I kind of didn't like analytically think of which matches were better, but I just was like, oh yeah, this match is like the opener, great opener. This match, great, and then the main event was great too. So I was just like, okay, 3 great matches. I didn't even think about like giving star ratings.
This is a number 1 contenders match for the tag team championships. I think Swerve
FTR in like they fumbled a couple things early on, but it was because like they put their foot on the gas. Like the pacing in this match was excellent.
Yeah, they like I think there was a part where Swerve slipped on the ropes he came and kind of turned that into a crossbody anyway. They kind of just roll with it, but I think all in all, Swerve and Dax were excellent together, and like Swerve was like kind of laying out like a lot of like creative ways to get in and out of moves, and basically I think the standout of the match for me was that the roll through off that that Tully style sit out power bomb off the rope thing, which was really cool. I thought Keith Lee looked decent here.
It was he gives the slingshot power bomb. He Hurricane Rana's. He rolls through the Hurricane Rana, gets him up, and then does it again. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Lee basically was basically like standing in the middle of the ring, but still being really mobile and agile, and watching FTR kind of fly around him both ways, which is really cool to see.
It was weird. Like the superplex, other person from the not diagonal corner, but from the next corner, from the neutral corner, over, like goes it. Yeah. I don't know why, but like Keith Lee,
he tried to get up.
Superplex. He took the superplex, and it's like he flipped to his back, and I don't know if that was I don't know what it was about. I have no idea, but I think
you forgot the move. But
I mean,
that's suplex, like
because
strong motherfucker.
Because Cash, he didn't even wait. He just like,
I'm going.
Like by the time he flipped to his back, I think Cash was already in the air, and it was. And luckily, nothing bad happened with it. He ended up like landing relatively safely. But I was like, oh, this could be bad. But luckily, it wasn't.
Lots of chops in this match. They did a cool German suplex from Wheeler. There was electric
they hit the
chair.
They hit the shatter machine. And then for the near fall, they were further away from this corner. They were from the side of the ring that was furthest away from the hard camera. So like Swerve was able to grab Dax's foot and pull him out the ring to make a save. So yeah, that was cool. Look, that was Look, if that had been a ref pull out, I'd have hated that. I would have hated this shit so much. But luckily, it was a wrestler, so that was cool.
Yep. So all this is happening while the Gun Club is sitting ringside. So
yeah, dressed as FTR.
Yes, which is
dressed as a parody version of FTR. Sorry,
like it's like Inception, because no, I'm not going to even do it. But yeah, but basically it ends up Swerve hitting a low blow with a ref turn outside the ring. Keith Lee
didn't see it.
Yeah, Keith Lee didn't see it, and he put Dax away with the ground zero, so Dax takes the pin. And after the match, Gun Club beat down FTR. Acclaim makes a save. I thought this was an awesome match. Get Swerve and Lee back in number 1, so we're back to Swerve and Lee versus the Acclaimed, and I don't think the Acclaimed is as red hot as they were, I would say, when they won the titles. And
think so?
It's only been I mean, they're still hot. Like, don't get it wrong, they're still hot, right? But they
what do you think has cooled them off?
Huh?
What do you think has cooled them down over the couple weeks?
I think they're just not like wrestling as much, like on Dynamite. Like they had a good showing on Rampage like 2 weeks ago. They had the program with the varsity guys like Nice and Woods and stuff like that. They had International Scissoring Day, which was fucking excellent. They don't get it twisted. These guys are great. They're doing awesome. But I think if they drop these belts back to Lee and Swerve, they can continue what it seemed like Lee and Swerve were like headed to do anyway. And it was like, well, they paid off the Acclaim, like getting super hot at that point, take it off them, and then, you know, it's their long road to win them shits back. But whatever's going on with Lee and Swerve probably demands the belts. So
I don't disagree, and that's the reason why I didn't think they should have changed the titles to begin with. But the crowd loves them, so I thought like neither decision was a bad decision to whoever they decided to go with. You saying what you just said to me, it reminds me of like when Japanese wrestlers get the top title for the first time. It's like you get it, you lose it pretty quick, and then you got to go get it back again, and then you get your substantial run. So I don't hate that idea if that is like what they have, or that is what the plan of as of right now is for them. Whereas like you're gonna be a featured staple keystone of the tag division, but we need to do this FTR triple belt thing, and we think that, you know, Swerve in Our Glory is like the better opponent to have like this classic match to cement FTR down the line. I don't mind that. Like, in fact, when they won this, that's the first thing that went off in my head is like they're getting the belts back, and that's what they're going to do. I would love that.
Yeah. So,
you know, NXT.
They,
you know, the secret society.
You stupid inside this shit.
You know, look, secretly James Boyd is only watching AEW just to watch the old NXTX. You know, Kenny Omega's there, and that's cool too, right?
Sick man. Sick man. So let's see. We have some comments here. Oh man. Oh shit. Lots of comments. So let's read some of these. James Brown YO. Oh wow. EO ate the pin.
Yeah. Ew. Gross. Disgusting.
I'm kind of glad to come back. After we got more hindsight, they could have been booed before, but we got the info and they're super over.
I don't think they're ever gonna get booed. The only person
never get booed.
I thought all parties come back, but if they were going to bring back CM Punk, they were going to have to bring it back as a heel because he was definitely going to get booed. Right? Like, I thought that was my gut feeling on how it was going to be if they all returned. I think, you know, I don't think people are going to boo the Elite outside of, you know, 25% of the crowds in Chicago when they go there. But then the match will start going off, and then they'll stop booing.
So, a couple of these. James Brown Wild was there. He said Gun Club was industry planning FTR chance. Oh my God.
I mean, look, industry plans, industry planting. So
yeah. So, from there, we got MJF and we got Britt Baker with Saraya backstage, and basically Britt came in and Renee was like, nah, we ain't doing this. And
lady, civility, please.
Yep. Then Renee was back up there again, and she introduced MJF, basically came out. He got asked, about Moxley defending the title against Pentagon. MJF basically started mocking John Moxley and doing the shoulders and all that shit, and basically said he's going to eat his piss and a bunch of stuff.
No. He said, I'm gonna drink your blood. I'm gonna eat your bones. I'm gonna, and then he closes it with like his voice sounded like Jericho. He said, I'm gonna gargle your piss. I fucking howled.
Yeah,
it's like those first two things. Moxie definitely would say some shit like that. But like, you gotta clown him for the fact that he says ridiculous things like this. Like, I'm a cannibal. Like, all right, there you go. Goofy.
He basically he called the mid, told Renee to shut her mouth when she said she couldn't say stuff like that. MJF's like winking and nudging at the crowd the whole time, like leaning into the babyface.
Called them devil worshippers again. Yeah.
And he basically said he got to held himself, saying that he's going to wrestle the whole match clean. He's still MJF. He made a promise he's not going to use the ring, but he's not fighting John Moxley. He's fighting everyone who said he wasn't good enough at Full Gear. He's going to shove it down our throats when he becomes AEW champion. Then Stokely came out. He was going to say his line, but MJF slapped the mic out his hand, basically said if Moxley gets past Pentagon tonight, the firm isn't to lay a hand on him until Full Gear, and if they do, Stokely's fired, and the firm is fired by association. So I have some thoughts about this whole thing. I guess, this kind of.
You want to wait till the main event angle, or
I'll wait till the main event angle. Okay. So after that, we got Bryan Danielson and Sammy Guevara, and this was excellent.
I forgot about this match. Yeah, there are 4 great matches on the show.
Yeah, this might have been the best match too. Like, this was fucking awesome. If y'all want to lie about Sammy Guevara, say sorry. Y'all just gonna be lying. But in Danielson, like it. If you don't like Sammy Guevara, I'm sure you got some enjoyment out of watching Bryan Danielson
beat the shit out of him.
Correct.
Shot and kick that man to death.
Kick him, chop him, submit him, all that shit. So, super crazy move from, I think Guevara did like a top rope Asai moonsault to the outside of the ring. That was insane looking.
Apron to top rope. Yeah.
There was, Sammy was imitating him with the yes kicks, who woke him up. Danielson was walking through forearms like he was Ishii and shit.
Yeah.
This was excellent. This was fucking match. Excellent. Like, and as a big fan of both of these guys, I was like, yo, this appeals to your boy right here. So, love seeing the clash of styles here. Thought these guys would always have an interesting match, and boy, did they! It was good. This was a pay-per-view quality match, I thought.
Yeah, great match.
After that, and fucking Danielson did like a Poison Rana, like the world's slowest Poison Rana.
Yes, he did.
It was funny.
I mean, look. The thing that's so amazing about what Danielson does right now is that like he wrestles at this level, and I just watch him like intently. Like you see the way he like keeps his head and neck like protected on bumps and falls, and it's like, how the fuck is this dude this good to be able to do all this stuff and have the presence and wherewithal and like ring positioning to like literally like he's babysitting himself on some of these bumps. I'm not saying that in a bad way. It's just like I think he's brilliant. He's just fucking brilliant. And like the way he did that Hurricane Rana, yes, a little slow, but it also is like he was nowhere close to having his neck, like match strike the mat. Or match strike the mat. I think the dude's just great, obviously.
Yeah, man. Bad night for Jazz. Big night for
Black Saber giving it to you in the comments, Rich.
Yep. He said Jericho Appreciation Society went 0-3 like the Lakers. I resent that. We got one win. One win. So we on the board. Gotta give us a chance. The
Lakers, like that was a weird thing. Like I remember Windhorst was talking about that about like during the season preview stuff. He was saying like the Lakers don't have like their normal schedule where like they kind of get fed powder puffs historically at the beginning of the year because it's good for the league for them to like get out the gate early, get some entry, because it's like same thing with the Cowboys when like the Cowboys like start out like 4-1 in the beginning of seasons, kind of similar to this year. But get my point, like give them a powder puff schedule at the beginning. They're America's team. Let the gambling flow, and then go from there and sell it. Not this year. They said they patting them up with some real tough teams to start out.
Hey, 6 man of the year, Russ. Can I start the agenda?
I gotta see what he looks like coming up. Look. He did
averaging the game.
I saw the highlights. He looked energized. He looked energized the way he hadn't looked earlier in the beginning of the season. I want to see it in person. I haven't seen an in-person game with the Lakers since the opening night. So yeah, there'll be more thoughts on it. Like, there's no reason why he can't kill on, kill as a six man. There's no reason why he shouldn't be able to do that. He's a Hall of Famer.
He looked like he had his springs, like for the couple clips I saw. So he was
able to get in the rim, but I mean, I don't know how much that is. Like, he's out here because he cooked fucking Jamal Murray, but it's Jamal Murray, like, just coming off. Like, they didn't know if he was gonna be able to start the season, like to start the opener. So like, but either way, he still cooked him. And boy, and he was doing a shimmy at the end. I was like, okay, he got some joy back because that was a rough week.
Yeah, that was a real bad week for us. So, Renee was backstage again.
Bro, all right, so stop now because this is the second time I forgot about this other one. Bro, they hired Renee and immediately put her ass to work.
Yes.
She is the hardest working woman in sport and showbiz right now.
Like, oh, y'all said Renee was great? All right, we gonna see.
Do you remember, like, it reminded me of, like, some of those episodes of Dynamite where they would have, like, Shivani, like, here, there, and everywhere, like, in, like, 3 back-to-back segments, except, like, they got Renee, like, doing all the backstage stuff, and it seems like they're doing more, like, backstage pre-tape stuff, on this particular episode than, like, normal episodes of Dynamite. So like, it just stuck out to me, like, she was, like, here, there, and everywhere, just, anybody needs a mic, anybody needs to be asked questions, I'm the one. You come to me.
So she did an interview with Phoenix and Alex Abrahantes, said Penda's going to be the double champion, and then Phoenix should become the next All-Atlantic champion. Christian and Luchasaurus roll up, said, they deserve a shot. Orange Cassidy comes in with the backpack. Of course, the belt's in there. Said, next week, let's do this. So the All-Atlantic title has become a triangle match championship the last couple weeks, it seems like.
Yeah, it's turned into that, was it the ice ribbon triangle belt, whatever is when it, like, all matches are like triple threat matches. But just for a second, they said, Abrahantes said Penta could be double champ, Phoenix could be double champ, and like, I was happy. Just thought of it. I knew it was never going to happen, but it made me happy. Like, yeah, they could. They you know what? They should do that. Yeah, take the belt off Orange Cassidy. Take the belt off Jon Moxley. Let's do this. Obviously, it's not going to happen. We have great options as champions right now. But
Lucha Libre real quick for a month or two.
Look. I've watched over 90% of AEW television and pay-per-view. I don't know why you can't book for me occasionally. Rossi books for me, pretty regularly. Tony Khan does too. But I see some things and be like, that's interesting. You should explore that. That's all.
Of that,
explore
next
that.
Match, Jamie Hayter versus Riho. This fucking show was loaded.
Yes, it was. Yeah, is it? I don't know what rating it got on Cage Match. I haven't looked, but
probably got lambasted.
Was this one of the better shows of the year?
Look,
it's got to be.
In practice, it is, but probably on Cage Match, it will not reflect that. If I had to guess,
it should be no lower than like a mid-8.
They, this is the return of Riho. Of course, Riho on the show, and very happy to see her wrestling. And her and Jamie Hayter, they had a match earlier this year. This is the rematch.
Yep. And Jamie got a win back.
And yeah, Jamie got the win. It looks like she's kind of getting revved up. This was awesome. Kind of started slow. And there was like a little bit, Riho, like, I don't know if she was rusty or what it was, but by the end of the match, she was in the swing of things. But yeah, this is
very good match.
This is the level I like. This is Omegaism.
7.75. Nah, man.
Omegaism.
Like, four great matches in a very good other match as your fifth best match. Nah, look, on a 2-hour show. Nah, that's absurd. That's absurd.
Like I said. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. Cage Match is under assault right now. And
this is one of the better AEW shows of the year. Easily.
Like look out. Here's the pivot. on the rating stuff. There are people that are in there and go in there with the ones and the zeros to blow that shit up, right? But those people are starting to get got and knocked off and get their shit deleted. Look for them to start like, oh, I guess we can't go that crazy. So how about we
shit
just
with
do
the fives, like some of these Joshi voters that'd be like, oh, I just saw a 4-star match. Let's give it 5.
Yep. That's the new one.
Okay,
so
buddy.
Look out for that next. James Bar Wiles is the greatest code red ever. That was a really nice spot what Riho did there. Hater ended up getting the win with the Rainmaker. So
what was it? I don't remember a code red. What was it off of?
She basically like lifted her up in the air and then like Riho like just flipped over her or something. So
okay,
it was pretty cool.
I'd have to go back. I remember something. I remember there was a big movie that Rio hit, but I forgot what it was. But I guess that was what it was.
So after the match, Toni Storm came out, held the belt up, and then she stared down Jamie, and that looks like it could be the next title match, but we'll see. So,
I mean, I could definitely see that. Like, given where we are in the calendar, given where we're up, a couple weeks against the pay-per-view, it seems like they're definitely gonna do a Saraya and not Paige, but a Saraya and Britt match. So I could see it being Tony and Jamie. Yep. But yeah, like before we move off of that, like shout out to 2019 Stardom for the match because that was fun.
So Renee came back for the 5th time this evening.
See, man.
She's with Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston basically asked him about his behavior of late. This was weird. I don't understand what this was.
Maybe I missed some breadcrumbs of like his temperament being unusual in the last like month or so, but I don't recall any of that. So
Kingston ain't really been around. He's been on.
That's true.
Strong. He's been on Dark
America.
and New Japan, and he hasn't, really been booked. So this was strange.
I didn't know.
I didn't understand.
Yeah, it felt like this was the beginning of something or a transition to something, and I didn't know. I got to see what it is first.
Right. Yeah. Feels like there's a lot of moving parts that could be like coming into play.
Yeah, I did have a thought
as far as turns and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, I did have a thought like when we talked about like the one like when people were so upset about Jericho beating Kingston and moving on from there. Like one way to put a bow on that to get people to like stop to go back and not like kill that match even though it was great. Have Kingston beat Jericho for becoming Ring of Honor World Champion.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you put a bow on that one. That's how I was thinking about that maybe like a week ago. I was like that'd be cool. That'd be really cool if they did that, but. We'll see. Because, like, remember, after all, he did throw him into that bed of barbed wire at the end to get revenge after losing. After he got hoed with multiple people coming in and interfering in the match.
So, we got Jon Moxley and Pentagon for the championship. After this, Penta came out in some fire gear.
Yes.
Excalibur did mention, like...
It's always funny when he comes out, like, when him or Fiend... Yes. It's like it's half Razor Ramon, half Muta. It's like, but because like he has on like the samurai like robe, so it's kind of like this Mexican guy with a lucha mask on comes out with the. It reminded me of
It's like the reverse Ultimo Dragon.
Like I'm gonna think about that, but when him and Phoenix came out for the ladder match of death with the Young Bucks, they did the same thing. And I was like, I mean, there's no problem with Mexican wrestlers liking Japanese stuff, but I was like, I don't know what like the connection is exactly. And I think Excalibur mentioned it like that was like the shoulder pads of it were like masks from his previous gimmicks before he became Pentagon. And I was like, okay, that's cool. But
he definitely. Yeah.
So much charisma.
They talked about the mask versus mask match with Viano 4, which is really cool. And they talked about everything Penta put on the line. I believe they showed a picture as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe I missed it.
So this one, this was cool. I didn't think they didn't have a blowaway match.
This wasn't their best match,
still,
but it was still. I thought it was great still, though.
Yeah, it was still really good. Moxley, I believe, I thought he was going to bleed. I don't think he did.
No, he did. During the first commercial break, I think.
Okay. But yeah,
it would have been weird if he hadn't been bleeding. It's a phantom match. It is Moxley.
He ended up. He basically set up that King Kong lariat. They did kind of like as a signature move spot now, as a spinoff of the Hangman thing, and James Brown YO is giving us some Eddie Kingston information. He says, "I forgot to tell you on the dark they filmed that night. Eddie was teamed with Ortiz and kept beating the opponents after Eddie and Ortiz had already won. Ortiz was trying to get him to stop, but everybody kept chanting Eddie. Eddie pointed to the crowd, and Ortiz stopped trying, and Eddie gave him both DDTs. So something's going on with Kingston here. So we will keep an eye on that. And then, Moxley ended up hitting Paradigm Shift, Death Rider combo for the win. And this was a good defense for him.
It was kind of out of nowhere because it was almost like it was a counter because it looked like Pentagon was like setting up to hit, put him away, and then all of a sudden, nope, boom, boom, you're done.
Yep. After that, we had the Firm come out. W. Morrissey, Guns, Ethan Page, Lee Moriarty came out, started whooping on Moxley. Stokely was walking to the ring. Security ran out. They got beat down by the Firm. Marvez got shown backstage with the Blackpool Combat Club's locker room. Everybody's locked in there
because earlier in the show they said they were going to have a meeting of the minds and settle their differences, and they went to their locker room, and then they got their asses locked away and put away and taken off the table. That was good. That was good through the show storytelling.
Look, why didn't they keep the door down? That's what they do in this promotion.
It was chain lock. Stop this.
You gotta follow the Young Bucks lead, man. Just gotta hit it with the kick. But after that, Moxley did a little comeback, but he ultimately succumbed. MJF hit the ring, basically fired Stokely and the Firm. He turned on him, whooped his ass as well. Morrissey looks fucking jacked.
Yes. Yes.
Ungodly levels. Like bro. That man would, I don't know if he would burn a hole through a cup right now, but
they don't test in AEW, so it doesn't matter.
He's been hard at work. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
But Ethan Page kind of gets the featured position here of doing like the beatdown. He gets a promo on Rampage, I believe, kind of putting himself over. He also did enter in they brought back the tournament this year for the number one contender, the title eliminator tournament. First two people in are Dante Martin and Ethan Page. They haven't named anyone else yet, but he basically hit the ego's edge. He threw MJF like 20 feet in the air with this shit. Morrissey choke slams him through the table outside the ring.
Yep.
The Firm
he went way up too.
Yeah, the Firm just decimated both of these guys, right? Yes. And I was like, I was like, I believe it was Sir Sam. And I was like, man, is this the Dark Order beating up the Elite? And I had that thought. And I was like, not quite, because I feel like there are at least established wrestlers in the Firm, right?
Right.
And there's not like nameless, faceless people just like laying waste to top stars. But these people there is no like ace in this group or anything like that. There are people, I think individually people like people like Lee Moriarty, I have an irrational like for Morrissey. Page is solid. You look at his skills on paper and you think he should be a superstar, but it just doesn't quite click for him in that way, like that. As far as the MJF thing in this now, I was alarmed by a couple things, right? And I guess if you got to turn him babyface because he's the hottest guy in the promotion, you got to do what you got to do. I get it. There are certain sacrifices that you had to be made. It just it feels so weird because when he was like, I'm not fighting Moxley, I'm fighting all the people who said I couldn't do it. It's like, all right, to me, that explains the Firm now being the heel protagonist of this or the heel antagonist of this main event program now, since the BCC or baby faces, MJF is like seemingly a baby face now. It's like they have to have this other chaos element in there to, I guess, move the story forward. So it's not quote unquote boring, but I feel like there's like I said, there's moving parts. There could be a Moxley turn coming out of this. Remember, he was always supposed to be turning heel at the beginning of the year. It only has stopped it when,
Rehab.
With rehab. He's done a lot of stuff. There's a lot of baby faces. If MJF is gonna suddenly become the top baby face in the promotion, I don't know if this is the case where it's like, I'm really confused on all this, and I don't know which way it's going. And maybe that's a good thing. It's I just got to watch how it plays out. But there's a lot of like little like tropes that are kind of saying, "Hey, maybe it's this," that are like reaching out.
Because in the stuff from the past, you think is because you think like if the last 2 weeks made me think like this could be some like Deadly Games '98 Survivor Series shit, right? Whereas like. He was always a heel. He wasn't shitty for like a month or whatever else. We think he's all good, and then like find out he's even more of a dick. Like with the beat down, it makes you like drops your guard. That is like, okay, he's actually just a scumbag tweener that you can cheer for if you want to, and it's cool if you don't, right? But then, like, it could be some Aces and Eights shit, which would fucking annoy the hell out of me.
Yes.
Bully Ray. Like, it would be like, I'd be like, this is, no.
Like, no, you didn't fool me. You fooled yourselves.
Right.
Like,
right. But to me, like, I'm kind of in the dark on it, but, like, I think anything except for, like, him, like, it was all the rules to screw, to fake all you fans out and also, faked out John Moxley for a second to win the belt. I would hate that. Anything outside of that, I think is going to be pretty interesting for us as fans. I really do.
Yeah. So there's still a lot on the table with this. They're going. I'll say this: it's interesting.
Yeah, and also like we don't know what his trajectory was ultimately going to be because it looked like they were definitely going to get to a Punk and MJF thing again, where he was going to beat Punk for the belt. But
that looked like that could have been headed for a double turn too.
Right. So it's like we don't know what the trajectory for MJF was, and like, is that still the ultimate course, or are they had to switch some things up because Punk is no longer, around. So yeah, anything outside of like it was a con job, like I think I'm going to end up enjoying it a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Rampage. Total skip. Embarrassing show.
Oof.
I thought this was we had John Moxley versus Matt Menard in a non-title match. What do you think happened?
Oof, how long did it last?
Maybe like 10 minutes. Maybe.
Went through a commercial break.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. So it's kind of like who was it? I feel like there was a Danielson match against somebody from 2.0. They went through a commercial break too, and I was like, why?
Matt Menard.
Okay.
Yep. Rampage, Madison Rayne and Ty Mello. Madison Rayne continues to display that she is one of the worst wrestlers on American television, and they were announcing her. They were on commentary saying she was a coach.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they would ever do that. That's a disservice to her. That's a disservice to the rest of the division. That, it looks like they got to look to her for,
they say,
guidance and leadership and working ability.
Look, you know what they say. You know what the saying is: those that can't teach.
Yeah,
can't explain it, but
Wardlow defended the TNT Championship against Matt Taven in the main event.
Who versus Matt Taven?
Wardlow.
How long did that go?
I want to say it was like a standard main event length match.
They put Taven in and have him go toe to toe with Wardlow. How did that go? Please tell me how
Wardlow got the win, dominated, at the end pretty much. But and I thought Taven, I don't think he looked bad or anything. But I'm telling you, we aren't interested in Matt Taven. And when I say we, I feel like I'm speaking for lots of us, but
look,
like they're clearly gonna be like a unit with somebody. Like when Adam Cole comes back, I think he's gonna be with the Kingdom. like, or else you won't be around next year. That's how Craig Mack used to say.
Man.
There was something with Swerve kidnapping Billy Gunn, which was interesting to say the least.
I saw memes that alluded to like to
devious things.
To Pornhub, and I was like, what?
Some of that vibe was there. I won't lie. But I think they both did a good job, like acting wise and lines wise, even if it was a little, kind of hokey. It's like, hold on, why are you kidnapping somebody? I've never seen this place at Swerve's house. I've never seen this room at Swerve's house. Like, where did Swerve bring him? I didn't talk to Swerve about this.
Also, like, you got to come up with another term. I'm sure there's another term for this. No, it's what do they call it? You know how they have like Amber Alerts or whatever else when
Silver
Alerts. Like, so can we call this like silver napping? Because like, look, bro, Billy Gunn is too damn old and too damn big to be said to be kidnapped. Kid where?
Yeah, he's a big dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was I think Swerve's like the timing on the lines and one-liners were pretty funny. I would say I'm not one for kidnapping. Really, I would say. But it was an interesting way to kind of and basically it led to, I think he like had his hands behind his back in the chair and Swerve pulled out some pliers. So,
so he pulled his teeth out or his fingernails out?
He broke his finger or something, so he couldn't scissor or something. It looked like. Ooh. So,
I guess it was on both hands or just one.
I think just the main scissor hand.
Well, wait. I thought he was legally contracted I thought he was told to cease and desist on scissoring to begin with. It was like, nah.
They want it back. They want it back.
Oh yeah, that's right. So it's still denying him of the scissors. Damn.
Yep. But they did.
No, I'm sorry, Rich. I gotta do it. I gotta do it. Do you remember when I asked two of our friends, not like two of my childhood friends? I asked them. I don't know why, but it made me think that. Well, maybe I asked this question, but I asked them like, "Do you know what digital rape is?" And
I remember this.
And they were like, what? Like, you could, they were like, basically like, I don't know, does that mean you can like, does that mean like you are forcing yourself on someone via the internet, like virtually? How the fuck does that work? And they're like, no, your fingers are called digits. That's what, like, you penetrate somebody against their, against their consent. That's what digital, like, so.
This is going off the rails.
I don't know why it popped in my head just now, but it was like, you said he took his digits, and I was like, oh, okay, so.
Yeah. I thought this was a nothing show.
Digital harassment, digital assaults.
But there were things that did happen on the show. They did set up a Jon Moxley and Lee Moriarty match, I believe, for Dynamite as a eliminator match.
Okay.
They had, basically after the match, Gates Agony came out. Will Hobbs ended up coming out. I don't know if it was a separate thing or if they were meant to be linked together, but the night basically ended with Brian Cage and Samoa Joe came out. It was a big brawl. The Gates of Agony and Hobbs were left standing tall. Hobbs and Wardlow looks like it's being set up for the TNT belt.
Okay, basically so hold on. Gates of Agony made the save for Taven? Or came out during the Taven match.
They come out after for
Wardlow. Joe came to make the save, and then Hobbs came after and laid out Joe. And now they're all together in the ring. You don't know if they're together yet or not.
Right. And, and Brian Cage grabs the ROH TV title from Samoa Joe's belt. Hobbs grabs Wardlow's belt, which I always thought was a natural direction at some point. Hobbs versus Wardlow for the TNT belt. Hobbs held the belt up and went off air. So there was some storyline stuff, but man, this was a largely boring episode of Rampage.
I almost watched it like before the show, and then I was like, I don't have time. And then like you
didn't miss much,
awful, so I was like, oh, I gotta dodge that bullet.
Yeah, you didn't miss much. I think if you watched, the only thing that was truly awful and like sub Sub-Zero level is that Madison Rain match, but everything else is just the stakes are lacking. There's just like, it feels like it's rather predictable. And they didn't try this whole month when they said, this whole thing with TK was doing a promoter talk of saying, we got all these live Rampages in October. There's going to be, I know you lost the Elite, you lose Punk, and they're still decimated by injury. A lot of people out still, but there are so many people that are booked on Dark that are just like sitting there that could have been on either of these shows. Like why am I having to watch a Madison Rain match when Athena's available? Like, what are we doing? Like, like, why are we playing this game? Eddie Kingston's just hanging out, doing a storyline, and all of us are not clued in on. He could be doing it, on one of these shows. There's a lot of cool matches to make. The issue that Tony's running into is there's a main event scene, and then the people just under the main event scene, he doesn't like to book them to lose, like, that are under the main eventers. So it's rare that they face each other. So it's like, all right, Wardlow has to face a Taven. Moxley has to face Matt Menard. No disrespect, but like, we not coming for that.
Right.
So, yeah. And they were in Connecticut. So you think they phoned it in because it was Connecticut? No, I don't think so. But there's just work to be done on Rampage, and I think they're missing a massive opportunity. Like, you have 3 hours a week on television. I know it's a terrible time slot, and you probably don't want to, overexpose or like
matches that you might want to do down the line on the bigger stage. But like, hey man, you gotta do something. You can't just let it be superstars.
Right. Like, why is this not like the Dante Martin showcase? The Lee Moriarty showcase.
It was. Remember, it was when Adam Cole was healthy. You had Punk, you had Danielson, you had Cole, you had Dante Martin, and you had Daniel Garcia, and there was one other person that was this younger guy, and they kept having, maybe in Darby, and they kept, like, in the first, like, first 3 months of Rampage existence, like, they kept putting them on there, and they kept having good ass matches. And then, like, it's almost like once Adam Cole got hurt, and then with Danielson, it was basically like it went down the tubes, and then they've had good Dynamite since then, or not Dynamite, Rampage since then, but like the last like 2 months has been like just lackluster.
Yeah, and they have plenty of people available. Like, have Dante Martin go crazy. Like, have
that's who it was. They had Seidel on there, and Seidel was killing it too. That's who it was. It wasn't somebody that was younger, but it was Seidel that was on Rampage a lot, and he was killing it. And the match he had with Punk was really good. Yeah, really good.
Is there any Stardom news this week, James?
No. There was at least one show this weekend in particular. I haven't watched it yet. It's up, but I didn't even realize it was up until like 2 hours ago. But like, we'll talk about it next week. We'll catch you guys up on all the Stardom stuff next week. And we'll actually, given where we are, next weekend is a pay-per-view. So yeah, next weekend is a pay-per-view. They've been building to it for like this whole entire tour post, or this whole entire month post Grand Prix final. I forgot what the pay-per-view is called, but it's September 13th, and it is in Hiroshima. So red belt match, Shuri versus Micah. Micah beat her in the Grand Prix. She gets her title shot. Similar situation in the white belt. Saya Kamatani versus Mina Shirakawa. Mina made her tap out, and also during the tour, or in the Grand Prix, and then also during the tour, Mina also got her again and made her tap out to the figure four. So they're really putting over her figure four. And she's gotten multiple, wins on this particular tour. And
so it's stronger than the Kaizoki and Mia figure four.
Saya sells it a lot better than Muta did. That's definitely for sure. Let's see what else we have. Tag title match. Tam and Natsupoi versus Ooh, I just blanked on who they're facing. Oh my god. That's embarrassing. Who the hell are they facing? Oh, Black Desire, Kid and Momo. So that match is gonna be great. And then you have various things like you have a tag gauntlet match. You also have I believe a trios match between God's Eye with Konami back. This is her second time back since she left after the Sumo Hall show.
Yes, West Coast Productions.
Oh my god. Terrible. Versus Donald Mondo. I believe that is Micah Hameka. No, that is Micah, Tekla, and Mai. So it's gonna be a really good show. And like this was the first time. I think this is the best time of this year, like where they, as far as like presenting two challengers. I don't think either is winning, but like as far as building them throughout the tour and in programs and at the press conference, I think this was the best job they've done. And I think it's a byproduct of them not having to do a pay-per-view every 2 fucking weeks. They actually had a month to do it. So, and they even did it before they even got to the tour. They did it during the previous tour during the Grand Prix. So, I thought, they've done a good job with the challengers and like, can't wait to watch it. So, that is basically what I got for Stardom.
This man, Dante Martin, dabbed mid-dive off the ropes to the outside of the ring.
So it's almost like when Kofi used to do the Marshawn Lynch, except it was a dab.
Yeah, it was like he jumped straight up in the air, dabbed, and then like hit, whatever, landed on his feet. Like, I'll send you the gift.
Oh, bro. You've seen Kevin Kelly wrestle before, right? Or sorry, Kevin Knight.
Yes. Super drop kick.
Bro. Kevin Knight, Dante Martin, Montez, Seth Rollins. We didn't have dudes that were able to jump like this when we were kids. We just didn't. Like, where the fuck is this coming from? I know where it's coming from, but like, we didn't have dudes that had we had dudes that were high flying and stuff. We didn't have people that had leapers. They had 30, damn near 40-inch verts. We didn't have that back then. I'm glad it's in the game. It's fun. It is really fun.
I like to see people jump high.
Yeah. Who knew? We like seeing athletic wrestlers. Who knew?
Indeed.
Oh, yes. Black Scripture, yes. What a chance of Alpha Female beating Mayu for the SWA belt on the pay-per-view to free up Mayu for the IWGP belt. Oh, yeah, that match is set on there. Alpha Female versus Mayu for the SWA belt. I think Mayu's winning regardless, and whatever they decide to do with the SWA belt if Mayu were to win. I don't know. It could be they could make it a double crown thing. They might unify it and just make the belt, get rid of the SWA belt and just make the IWGP belt the belt. Who knows? But I think that either way it's going to work out fine, and like I'm good with either decision. Like if they go with Kyrie and have her basically be the big match person, fine. If they go with Mayu, it's easy 4-star match anytime you do it in Japan. So yeah, they picked the right two people to do it. Either you pick your what do you call it? Your legacy star, or you pick the one of the two biggest people you ever had internationally in your company. So works. I think it's gonna be great, and I can't wait for the match. And I like their promo from the pay-per-view, after they both advanced to the final, where they're like, Kamagi's like, you left, and we have feelings to express after 5.5 years or whatever else. And
you went to go twerk it up for the Fed. I stayed here and built this. Don't be trying to go home now.
Oh my god! Her first match back, they tagged together. This
belongs to me. I need some hatred here. I need to be sold something.
No, this. Mayu basically did the the Go Shiozaki shit. She's like, I am Stardom.
I did not run for the grind.
I knew you were gonna say that shit. So, but yeah, it's going. I can't wait. These two are the people are the biggest reasons why like I even got into Stardom. Like plus EO, like just saw some of their matches against each other for red and white belt, one for 2015, one for 2017. It was like, yo, these women are incredible. So I'm excited to see what they, now like where they are now and like what they have to add to the stories they've already told. So yeah.
All right, y'all. Happy Halloween. Don't be anti-Semitic. I think that goes without saying, but
like, bro, I saw like over the weekend some dude walk into a bar in New York City. He's in a fucking Nazi soldier costume. Bro, they ran his ass out of there in like 15 seconds.
Unbelievable.
15 seconds to run him out of there. And it's Kyrie saying that in that same city. Bro, what are you doing?
Foolish. Let's wrap it up, man.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, y'all. That's the end of the show. Be sure to rate us on whatever app you're using and listen to this with.
Also, download the feed, the One Nation Radio individual feed. We are seeing the numbers rise, so I appreciate you guys.
Yeah. Go to, if you're listening to the stream, links are below or directions are below for the Cash App and the PayPal. If you're listening on the podcast, you can go to our show notes or description and find our link to our Reddit Circle page. You drop yourself a donation there. And be sure to listen to other shows on the network. Besides One Nation Radio, you have Keepin It Strong Style, the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show, Grown Men Watch This Shit, the Grave Consequences Podcast, All Things Elite, Great Match Generator, Get in the Ring, Meet the Press Slam, and AEW Match Guide. Why do I feel like I forgot something? Did I leave out 8-Bit Suplex? 8-Bit Suplex. Sorry, Josh. My bad. Thanks for listening, y'all. Later.
Peace.